check. Oh, goodness. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see you. Good to be seen. I am rested. I feel great. Thanks for dealing with me taking a day off yesterday. What's up, Chris? I just needed a day. My voice needed a rest. It's going to be a long day today. I hope you guys are in it for the long haul with me today. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me make sure we're all set up. Hop in the Discord here. I haven't heard a peep from Jen this morning. She seems to be alive. Oh, there she is in the Discord. Hey, Jen. Good morning.
Morning, sunshine.
Oh.
That's sarcasm, dude. I know.
Oh.
Sorry. Has it been that long that you don't know sarcasm?
You didn't mean it in a nice way. My bad. I should have known.
You should have known better.
Yeah.
100%.
How was your day yesterday? What'd we do?
Probably something wrong. I don't know. I didn't have anything funny to say.
See how awful small talk is? Terrible.
Oh, that? No, I don't care about small talk. We can keep going. What are you going to do after the show today?
What am I doing after the show today?
Yeah, and before you talk to probably the reincarnation of Satan himself.
You don't like Andrew?
No, I can't stand that guy. To be 100% honest, he's dog. I thought I made that clear that I thought he was dog shit. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like him. If you guys don't know what Jen's talking about tonight, I've got a debate with Andrew Wilson, who is not popular amongst non-Christian nationalists. Let me fix this cord so it's not hanging in front. So that'll be interesting. As a reminder, tonight when we do that debate, make sure you're subscribed either on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok as a paid subscriber, and then we'll have a stream on YouTube that's sub only, and then if you're a subscriber on TikTok or Twitch, we'll have a viewing. What do we call it? A viewing party? Is that what we call it? Watch party?
I call it a watch party.
Watch party. That'll be over on Discord. So make sure that you're in the Discord if you're a subscriber. We'll watch it over there. Otherwise, you can watch it on the Raging Tomatoes YouTube channel, which is full of white nationalists. Andrew's doing I'm his last debate of the day, and
he's gonna be feral.
He doesn't know he doesn't know what he's about to debate. I don't think. I think this is going to be a really weird debate for him because I'm not going to debate the shit that he wants to debate. I don't fucking care about the stuff he wants to debate. I think it's pointless. I think it's useless. I think it's just a way to get incels to feel good about being racist. So I'm not really going to debate it, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it is that Andrew Wilson that I'll be debating tonight. He's not getting a lot of love in the chat right now.
No, he's. I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, the amount of times he brought up grape when he was talking to Kenzie was just beyond me. It was so gross.
He likes that. Does he debate immigration? He's going to. That's what we're debating. We're supposed to debate immigration, and then I don't know how this is supposed to work. So it's going to be the same prompt that I debated Steven on last Friday or whatever, and I was like, let me see if I can find it. The prompt is Trump deportations do more good than harm, or more harm than good. Ooh, that'd be backwards. And then added plus secularism versus Christianity, which is going to be a weird debate because I feel like I've tried to make this very clear to the Raging Tomatoes chat, to the host. I think that secularism and Christianity are not ways to rule. And same as I think when it comes to economic structures, having one set of ideas just is thought stopping. And I think that it causes people to defend things they don't want to defend, but they have to defend it to remain logically consistent. So bring your note cards. You're going to need them. For what, Callie? For what, Callie? What am I going to need my note cards on?
It is so weird to me when people just they just support someone who. I mean, Callie, have you actually listened to him debate? He's not smart.
Let me say this about Andrew. Here's what I'll say about debating Andrew is I've seen a lot of him now because this is like the third attempt for somebody to get me to debate Andrew. The problem is a lot of the things that he says, like I kind of agree with. I don't agree with the conclusions that he comes to, but like for I'm trying to even remember what they are. This is anyways. This is one of those ones that we have to that we apparently have some disagreement on. But Andrew's an ideologue. He and I'll back Kelly. He is a great debater. I think he's one of the better debaters. But the reason that he's a good debater is because he's an ideologue and he debates ideology, and he is very, very, very experienced in his own ideology, and he has went through his ideology and taken some pretty gross positions because they line up with his direct ideology. My contention is it's really fucking stupid to be an ideologue. Like in all instances, don't be an ideologue. It's dumb because it forces you to take stances that you don't want to take. And if you just weren't an ideologue, you wouldn't have to take those positions. So he does defend Christian nationalism well, but Christian nationalism is stupid. Nationalism is stupid. All ideology is stupid. So I don't know how it's going to go today. The only person I know of that debated him that has a similar stance to me is that libertarian guy, Dave Smith. And I don't think that went very well for Dave Smith, if we're honest. What's your strategy for debating semantic assholism? I don't know. I don't have a strategy for that yet. God.
So I saw someone ask if they subscribe on TikTok. We're gonna have the watch party in Discord. So Casey, they can't watch it on Twitch because we have to get to a certain level of partner, and that's probably not the right term on Twitch. A certain level of person on Twitch. So we do it on. We're gonna do a watch party for TikTok and Twitch in our Discord. So if you don't have a link to our Discord, any mod can send you an invite for that.
There we go. Affiliate. That's what we're looking for, right? That's what we have to be.
I think it might be higher than that because I think we're affiliate.
How could anybody be higher than me? That's me almost all the time. Except for
mean,
now.
You mean elevated, not.
Oh, different kind.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's a different kind of higher. But anyways.
Okay.
So.
Any announcements while you're here before we get going?
Yep, just the same old same. Top left-hand corner is our gift goal. So if you guys could help us out before the end of the show, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats. This is our job. We do this each day. So if you guys like us doing this each day, we need to keep that goal. Need to hit that goal. I've started some more kind of like passive aggressive posting about the goal. I don't know if some of you guys are.
I saw one the other day. It said like there's 15 minutes left in the show. Something about a guilt trip and 15 minutes left of this guilt trip or something. I don't know. The show's almost over, but my guilt trip won't end. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Another one, gift goals looking a little floppier than your ex's excuses. Let's tighten it up. Things like that. I've got some fun ones I've been rotating through. Jeez. So there's that. Subscribe if you want to watch the watch party with us. So wherever you're watching, you can subscribe there and watch it with us. If you guys disagree with RTP, and most of the incels aren't here yet except for Callie Cam.
Callie Cam.
But anyone else who wants, and Callie knows how to come on if he wants to. You DM me on Discord. My Discord username is the Venmo. So Jen with 2 N's, Deb with 2 B's, number 1. And I can bring you on Talk in Real Time. That's how we bring guests on. Also check out our link tree. We're on most social media platforms. Got merch. We're on Cameo and Spotify. So.
And that's going to be 9:15 Eastern, 6:15 Pacific. If you're in the other two time zones, you have to figure it out. You're not important enough for us to listen those times or list those times. It's just how it works.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Tommy's real mom said RTP will be cooking again tonight. I will be baking tonight, most likely. What is your objective in tonight's debate? My objective is, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm really generally I think I know what to expect with the debate. I do think this is an interesting one. Um because I think both of us are going to want to take this debate in two different directions. The problem is I'm not like I don't believe that like in this secularism versus Christian nationalism debate simply because I don't think that there should be a ruling class. So the argument is like who should rule? I don't really think somebody should rule. So I don't know. My plan is to try and keep it focused on immigration. And then I know next Thursday I'll be on again. It's just like the panel versus me. And we're going to talk about universal health care. So the prompt is that Medicare for all is the best solution to lower prices and take care of Americans, something like that. I can't remember exactly what the prompt is, but that's what it was. Last question. What's the YouTube account? YouTube account for them is Raging Tomato. Ours is at RTP-Talks, or maybe it's just RTP Talks. I can't remember this at this point. Andrew Wilson's who I'm debating, so you'll see it. It's not if it's not to open as many jars as possible on camera. I'm disappointed in your lack of pettiness. We'll see about that. We'll see about cameras. Just a reminder over on TikTok. Regularly, this channel gets taken down. We're now like 3 or 4 days in a row without it coming down. And a lot of that has to do with your support. So make sure on TikTok that we're getting those likes up. I see 3,800 likes right now. And then in order to keep our person happy over at TikTok, because with TikTok, we have to pay the HR rep, your percentage of your gifts go to the person that makes sure we don't get taken down. So I'll keep track of the top viewers on TikTok today. Chops is leading with 161 coins. I do want to say something too. I can't change this. If you leave the live and you come back for whatever reason on my end, it resets your coins. So I apologize if I mention your coins wrong. I'm going to try and do them every once in a while so that we keep track of that. But appreciate you guys' support. Let's jump right into it for the day. First, I just saw this and I felt like everybody else needed to see this with me because we're going to talk about a lot of shit today. But this is the best thing I saw on the internet. I can only assume this is in Florida. This is a man terrorizing an alligator with a remote controlled boat.
It's still going. Wow.
Now that's.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That is, you know, this would be a. Oh, I think it broke. I think it'll only go one way now. Oh man. Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say he's.
Go and get it, Phil.
Oh, turn it back over for us.
I want to. Oh, get away! I want a remote control boat so bad.
Can you make it go to the other side? Oh!
No, that's not going to help.
How to get up there?
Go get it, Phil.
No, he ain't going. He's going after something else. A piece of it. Oh, he's got another piece.
I just thought that was awesome. I watched that like 30 times. Is that legal? I have no idea. Are there laws in Florida? I was under the impression that Florida had no laws. There's no way that is illegal in Florida. You could do anything in Florida. Why do people mess with animals like this? Well, I don't know if they were messing with animals like that. They might have just been driving their boat in their pond. If you've lived on the East Coast, like I lived in South Carolina, every neighborhood basically has like a pond and people fish in those neighborhoods, but there's gators in all of them. So I don't know. Is that mean? I tease my dogs. I don't even know if that's mean. That gator probably had a good day. That gator was probably went home and told his friends, like, bro, you never believe the humans today. They played with me. They drove a boat around and I chased it. And then I bit it. RTP thinking the rain is from climate change. Shut up, Cali Cam. You fucking idiot. All rain is climate change. This is why you stay in the comments. You say the dumbest shit. And it's the confidence in which you say dumb shit, Cali Cam, that I think is so endearing. It's just like you're not even very good at rage baiting. Like you're pretty bad at it. You're kind of just kind of like our cute little white nationalist in the comments saying cute little white nationalist talking points. It's adorable. And thanks for being here. The hogs, the Cali Cams, the MAGA folks, the QAnoners, they are not happy about Grock. If you've missed this, Grock has been on a rampage. Grock has done some awful things, including explaining how to grape a man, and it was like a real user. Grock is a bit out of control. But the The hogs are very upset with Grock because Grock is doing some things that they don't like. Number one, this is from Vance Lagman, who's a fairly prominent MAGA account. He's got 400,000 followers, so fairly prominent over there on Twitter. Here's the 4 things that they're upset with Grock for thinking. Number one, this is for you, Kelly Kim, that man-made global warming is real, which it is. Number 2, it thinks a racist cop killed George Floyd and not a drug overdose. Also true. 3, it believes the right is responsible for more political violence than the left. Also true. Now they're mad at Elon and they're calling it the AI version of The View. There's nothing more upsetting to Republicans than fact checking. I don't think there's anything that makes a Republican more upset than finding out that what they believe is a lie. And so now when Grock, who is just using the internet as a learning tool, and who is taking the fact that all climate scientists believe that man-made climate change is real. They may not all agree on how much of climate change is man-made, but they all agree that some of it is. That's the thing that has MAGA pissed off today. They're very upset about the truth that Grock is telling. So I'm sorry for all the MAGA here. It must be devastating. It's interesting too. I've seen a lot of them complaining, saying, "What happened to Grock? Grock used to be on our side." Yeah, they were programming it. They were programming it to lie to you, and unfortunately, the evidence was overwhelming. And Grock is doing machine learning, right? So it's kind of hard to trick it. And eventually, Grock now is just telling you things that are true, and now you're very upset. Grock needs to go to PragerU. Let's go. Let's head on over to PragerU, Grock. I want to make sure I have this up. And Katrina says, you are one sexy ass beast, from Sister Wife number 8. Thank you, Katrina. That gets my confidence up this morning. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jamie, for the donation as well. And Tony said, more MAGA voices. Oh no, that's my MAGA voice. If you haven't been here before, that's MAGA being hysterical about anything that you shouldn't be hysterical about, like an immigrant just like eating food, or Mamdani eating rice with his hands. Oh no, not with your hands! They're ruining America. I think it's really important to remind people that they called Joe Biden incoherent, and this is a clip from 2023, but I think it is relevant today. It's important to remember that Donald Trump is just a dumb guy, but he's a rich dumb guy, and so people confuse his wealth with intelligence. But he's an actual dumb guy, and here's John Oliver explaining what we mean by that.
So often, what Trump says is complete nonsense. We often read transcripts of Trump's speeches, and it's something that everyone should actually do once in a while, because when you strip away his blindly confident, entertaining delivery and just read his words, it is staggering how incoherent he is. Here is a word-for-word reading of a speech where he talked about the Iran nuclear deal.
You look at the nuclear deal, the thing that really bothers me. It would have been so easy, and it's not as important as these lives are. Nuclear is so powerful. My uncle explained that to me many, many years ago, the power, and that was 35 years ago. He would explain the power of what's going to happen, and he was right. Who would have thought? But when you look at what's going on with the 4 prisoners, now it used to be 3, now it's 4, but when it was 3, and even now, I would have said, it's all in the messenger. Fellas, and it is fellas, because, they haven't figured that the women are smarter right now than the men, so it's going to take them about another 150 years, but the Persians are great negotiators, the Iranians are great negotiators, and they just killed us.
Holy shit! That is not a functional use of language. That is a drunk driver crashing a pickup truck full of alphabet soup.
It's just a reminder that the guy's an idiot. We'll talk more about Donald Trump being an idiot today. I don't know if I even have 2.5 hours of content today. We'll find out. It is a reminder, though. It's a Friendly Friday, so this at the end, last hour of the show, friendlies come up. Let's make sure we hit that gift goal before then so we can get into that last hour. But I know a lot of you are dying to talk to Jen. Jen recently did a face reveal over on TikTok, and it caused waves in the Discord. So for those of you lining up to, I don't know if you're going to shoot your shot or just talk to Jen, whatever you need to do. The last hour of the show, we'll take care of that. I'll probably just take a seat. I'll take the viewer role, and you guys can all talk to Jen about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Republicans are very upset about Dr. O'Connor, who was Joe Biden's doctor.
Hold on.
Hi.
Hold on. Pause.
Excuse me. Can I help
It's
you?
not like I've hid my face. My face has always been out there. It's not like I haven't been there.
I don't think a lot of people. I don't think if we're being honest, I'm not sure that your face was the thing that people were talking the most about, Jen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's whatever. It is what it is.
I was uncomfortable in the Discord. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
You know what? I had to lean into it to make you more uncomfortable.
Leaning in was the wrong move.
Yeah.
That seemed to get more attention every time you leaned in, Jen.
Well, you know what? It's all right. But
I've never been on that side of it. Yeah.
Well, but you started it in the Discord. It wouldn't have been there if you hadn't.
I just said you were live.
No.
I just simply shared that you were live and that people should go support you.
And,
I thought they would be like,
and the camera and my camera was on.
And your camera. I did say your camera was on. That's true. It's true.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. All right. So Republicans very upset at Dr. O'Connor, who was Joe Biden's doctor. They're coming up with all sorts of conspiracy theories. And I got to tell you, I kind of feel a little bit for James Comer. James Comer is not quite dumb enough to not be given any committee assignments. And he's just smart enough to be given all the dumbest ones. And so James Comer now is leading a committee that is trying to force Joe Biden's doctor to give them his medical records and testify in front of them about Joe Biden's health, which is just fucking crazy for the mere fact that he's not the president anymore. He's just not the president. And they're very upset that he pled the fifth, which, by the way, I think he's probably obligated to plead the fifth. I think if you are a doctor and you've sworn an oath and there are privacy laws, I don't know that you actually have an option to not plead the fifth there. But Republicans desperately want to not talk about the fact that all of Donald Trump's numbers are cratering, that his immigration policies are not only disturbing, but now very unpopular. His public support, especially with people with microphones, is waning because those people with microphones get pushback from their audience, and their audience is saying, what the fuck is going on? And so naturally they want to try and talk about Joe Biden's health. And it's not working. Unfortunately, there's too many other things that Trump is currently fucking up for anybody to care about this. But for all the Republicans in here, do you think that it's appropriate for the president's doctor or somebody who works in the administration to plead the fifth? Do you think it would be okay if Joe Biden came in and pled the fifth? Do you guys think that? Do you think that's okay? Hater sat. Hey, you say that every day. Jay will back any damn. Shut up, Calicab. Calicab just literally listens to be offended. That's your whole day. You just wait until you hear something, and then you're one of the worst trolls. I appreciate your effort, though. You do work hard. I don't know. Whatever you want to think, Republicans being bent out of shape because Dr. O'Connor 14 times pled the fifth. I would just like to play this video for you. This is Donald Trump, not in office, by the way, after he has left office. And he's asked many times to answer questions. And for all of you who are upset about people pleading the fifth and not telling you the truth, here you go.
So, Mr. Trump, I take it you are not going to answer any questions about your preparation today with your counsel. Is that correct?
Should I say
He's also a shitty reader, which you're about to see here.
this, or should I respond to that?
Just read that.
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein, in its entirety, I decline to answer the question. Same answer. 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 Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool. One statement or answer that is ever so slightly off, just ever so slightly.
One of the things he does that I love is he's not a good reader. So it took him a second to read ever so slightly. And then after he reads it, he catches it. And so he just repeats it. Like these are actually his words. Like we're going to think, bro, we see that you're reading it. You don't have to convince us that these are your words. We know this was written by your attorney. You don't have to try and convince us that you definitely knew what was on this paper.
Ever so slightly off, just ever so slightly, by accident, by mistake.
Yeah.
Such as it was a sunny and beautiful day when actually it was slightly overcast.
Or like when you took office and you told everybody that when you started speaking at the inauguration that the clouds parted and out came the sun while we watched it rain on you without sunshine. It would be similar to that, yeah.
Would be met by law enforcement at a level seldom seen in this country, because I've experienced it. The United States Constitution exists for this very purpose, and I will utilize it to the fullest extent and defend myself against this malicious attack by this administration, this Attorney General's office, and all other attacks on my family, my business, and our country. Accordingly, under the advice of my counsel and for all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States.
All right, it's good enough. 400 plus times this bitch didn't plead the Fifth. 400 plus times. He's refused to sit in front of Congress. The stuff that James Comey did, the stuff that Hillary Clinton did, the stuff that Joe Biden did, where they sit down and they answer questions. He refuses to do it. If you guys weren't hypocrites, you would be almost nothing. So keep crying about a doctor pleading the Fifth some more. Amy said, "Did you see Trump's Department of Homeland Security threatened a child online?" Jesus Christ, no, I did not see that. Jen, will you find that? Kirsten said, I have a low IQ equals legally dumb, and yet I would not say the things 47 has said in the past. It said, I asked if Nancy Pelosi was in charge of the National Guard on Jan 6, Grock knows the truth. Uh-oh. Don't ask, where are you guys? You're out of places to get answers from. You can't do Google, it's too fucking woke. You can't do ChatGPT, it's too fucking woke. You can't do Grock now, it's too woke. You can't do the internet at all. All you have left is like each other. You just jack each other off and talk about how dumb everybody is for believing information. I get that. I get it. All right. Trump had the president of Senegal come visit after Trump threatened tariffs on Senegal because this dipshit administration thought that they were going to have everybody calling them and begging them for trade deals, and nobody called. And so they're like, "What? I guess we'll just send out more letters." And so they send out letters telling people that they're going to get tariffs. And then the president of Senegal comes to the White House and they speak. There is a moment that excuse me, what was it you saying? Liberia? Yeah, Liberia is also. Was it Senegal and Liberia? I think it's both, right? I think it's both. Didn't we have both come? Am I mixing that up? Let me double check, make sure. I know Liberia was there. I thought the Senegal president was there too. Am I right about that? Yeah. Bassirou Diomaye Faye. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I understand. I'm pretty sure it's both. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's both. I know what you're saying, though. So they had the president of Liberia there as well, and he had a beautiful opening statement. And at the end of his opening statement, Trump told him how beautiful his English was and asked him where he had learned to speak such English, where he had studied. And Liberia, I didn't know that the English was the national language of Liberia, in all fairness. And Trump obviously didn't either. But Trump chose to do it. And I'm not going to be ultra critical of this. It's embarrassing However, and the president should know, somebody in his administration should have told him and prepped him, and they obviously didn't. But he was just every 80-year-old white conservative man that I know. Every one of them. Like he saw a black guy across from him. He heard an accent, and he understood the words coming out of his mouth. And he's like, oh, he must have studied someplace to learn English. And he said, like, how did you get your English? How did you learn to speak so beautifully? And then he said something that I thought made a lot of sense too. He said, you speak better than these people in my administration. And I thought that was true. I think it was painfully obvious that was true. So Trump did a little racism. He did a little microaggression there. And it's the same microaggression that I would expect to come out of my father. But then the president from Senegal seems to understand how this works. And he seems to understand that you cannot talk sense into Trump. You just have to blow him and bribe him. And here's the president of Senegal speaking to Donald Trump.
To Africa. I was wondering what your secret was for resolving all these complex crises, and I know you are a tremendous golf player. Golf requires concentration and precision, qualities that also make for a great leader. Senegal has exceptional opportunities to offer, including in the area of tourism. So perhaps an investment could be made in a golf course in Senegal.
Perhaps.
It would just be 6 hours by flight from New York, from Miami, from Europe, or from the Gulf, and that would be an opportunity for you to show off your skills on the golf course too. Thank you for your attention, sir.
And watch how excited Trump gets about this. Trump is so excited that somebody mentioned he was good at golf. He's so pumped about this.
Nice. It's some way to show off my skills. It's a long trip to show off my skill, but that's really nice. And he's led a very interesting life. He looks like a very young person. He's a little older than he looks, but a fantastic job.
I see always commenting on their appearance. Thanks for the compliment. He's young. He's hot. He's even young. He's older than he looks, but he's hot. I don't know why he always talks about people's looks. That's the depth of Donald Trump. I think we see that on full display regularly. He rarely has anything of substance to say. He just tells the guy that he's hot. After the guy's like, "You're good at golf," he's like, "Thanks, man. You're hot." But they all know. They all know how to get his attention now. And this is what it's become. You just show up. First of all, he's not that great of a golfer. Actually, he's pretty good for like 80. He's a terrible putter. He's not nearly as good at golf as he claims to be, but now they know, like, hey, you're good at golf. Why don't you come to Senegal? We'll do a licensing deal with one of your golf courses. They know what to do. They know that they're not going to come in here and talk about policy. They know they're not going to come in here and have like an honest discussion about what's best for both countries. So they just glaze him, and it works. It works perfectly.
Was treated very unfairly by his government, and he prevailed. And so congratulations on that. Really, congratulations. It was a great job.
I don't know anything about the president of Senegal. All I know is that anybody who ever supports Trump that's a foreign leader, Trump claims that their government was like against them and that he just makes everybody sound like they were a victim that prevailed. I don't know. That's what we're dealing with as president. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool, guys? Isn't that cool that our president is a functionally illiterate and openly takes bribes? It's a cool timeline that we're in. Angie said, how about you and I also jack each other sugar dick? Jesus Christ. All right. Namasi said, don't ever change, but if you do, stay naked. God, I thought we were doing this to Jen today. Why are we doing this to me today? Save all this for Jen, please. I don't need any of this. I thought we were going after Jen today. I really thought I was going to get a break. Comer is Adam said Comer is just smart enough to know it's a HIPAA violation, just dumb enough to call it hippo behind closed doors. Did he do that? There's a good chance that's actually what happened. I'll update that gift goal in a minute. Who's winning the Twitter or the TikTok race here? Chop's still in the lead, 165 coins. Thank you guys. 28,000 likes on over on TikTok. I appreciate that. Let's keep those likes up, and I'll try and read your comments as they come in. There was the Pentagon halted a munitions sale to Ukraine about a week and a half ago. And we know that because they're the ones that did it. That's how we figured the whole thing out. After a week, then Trump said, we're going to start selling munitions to Ukraine again because Putin's killing people and he shouldn't do that. And which is a wild thing for Donald Trump to say, considering Putin's been doing that for a while. This isn't, I don't know if he's just learning about what Putin's doing, but he decided that we were going to sell arms to Ukraine after a week of not selling arms to Ukraine. And he was asked about the munition sale being halted, and he's like, I don't know anything about that. I'll get back to you. And so then the next day, a reporter asked a follow-up question, a fair follow-up question. Did you figure that out yet? And here's Trump's answer.
Sir, President?
Yeah, please.
Sir, yesterday you said that you were not sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out?
Well, I haven't thought about it because we're looking at Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have no.
That's crazy. I haven't thought about it because I'm thinking about exactly the thing that you're talking about. Did you ever figure out who halted those? No, I haven't thought about it because right now we're focused on munition sales to Ukraine. Yeah, bro, that's what we're talking about. That's the very thing that we're both talking about right now. I don't know how he got confused there. Now, I haven't thought about the thing you're asking me about because I'm thinking about the thing that you're asking me about.
At Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have not gone into it.
What does it say that such a big decision could be made inside your government without you knowing?
I would know. If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know. In fact, most likely I'd give the order, but I haven't done that yet. Yeah, please.
Sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir,
Never an answer from this guy. This isn't even like a cover-up. I want to be clear what we're watching here. I'm not trying to claim here that this is some sort of corruption by the administration and that they're hiding things from you because they have something to hide. Now, some things they're hiding. This is just sheer incompetence. This is a room full of morons who just take their direction from Donald Trump. No, we still don't have an answer to that, Jen. Good question. We still don't have an answer to that. No idea. No idea why the munitions were paused. It was supposed to be Pete Hegseth. If the pause came from the Pentagon, that would be Pete Hegseth, right? Then another reporter asked Trump about Russia's use of illegal chemical weapons against Ukraine. Trump doesn't know because he never fucking knows. Because this guy's like, he just watches Fox News every day and gets outraged about the news. And so naturally, he leans to Pete Hegseth when we're talking about chemical weapons being used against Ukraine. You would think that the Secretary of Defense, the person over the Pentagon, would have the answer, and Pete Hegseth will give us that answer.
On Ukraine, the Ukrainians have asked the international court to go after Russia for using toxic chemicals in the fight. Germany and Germany and the Netherlands have had intelligence saying that. What does U.S. intelligence believe, and what do you believe about the use of chemical weapons? And would you?
He said, if you didn't hear it, so she's asking about the chemical weapons, and he turns to Pete and he said, what do you know about this? He has no fucking clue. Trump doesn't know. And he leans to his Secretary of Defense and says, what do you know about this, Pete?
What do you believe about the use of chemical weapons? And would you agree that that's the case for the court?
And he says, I don't know. John might know. Ratcliffe. Ask Ratcliffe. I don't know. I have no. I was too busy filming ads and tying this great double Windsor knot and putting in pocket squares. I have no fucking clue. Ask John Ratcliffe.
Well, ask John maybe to discuss it if you'd like, John.
And now John's obviously going to have a good answer. That's it. We finally got to the right guy.
Well, Mr. President, obviously chemical weapons, if it's documented and its use, it's illegal. It's against all.
He doesn't know either. Well, obviously chemical weapons, if it's documented, it's illegal. He doesn't know either. How does the media know? How does everybody except for the people at this table know that Russia is using chemical weapons against Ukraine? Not one fucking person at this table knows? not the president, not the commander in chief, which is fine. I can overlook Trump not knowing. To be honest, I think that sometimes the president doesn't know everything, and that's why you surround yourself with good people. But certainly the Secretary of Defense should know. And then certainly John Ratcliffe should know, who is the director of the CIA, who also used to be the director of national intelligence. Nobody knows. Only the reporters know. Just the reporters know. I don't even know if they're on Russia's side, Hot Rod. That's a fair assessment. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I think that like Russia just keeps them in the dark. I don't think they know. Nobody at this table knows about chemical weapons being used on Ukrainians while they're talking about sending arms to the Ukrainians. And the media seems to know. Isn't that weird? That's not good.
It's illegal. It's against all international laws of armed conflict and treaties. And obviously I can't share in this room with this audience the intelligence that I can share with you privately, but obviously you're not going to stand or allow for any violations of international law by anyone.
That's right.
That's right. He says that's right. Fucking right we won't. I mean, we're not going to know about it. But if we do find out about it, we're not going to stand for that shit. The incompetence is on display every day. I can't believe they keep trotting this dumb bitch out in front of the camera. And I don't think they would. I think the difference between Trump and Biden is that Biden's handlers had sway. When Biden's handlers said, like, we're not going to put him out in front of the camera after 6 p.m., they got it done. They should do the same thing with Trump, if like politically, but they just keep trotting this dumbass out there and his dumbass friends that he hired from Fox News to run the country, and all of them are just like, I don't know. And Callie Camp's just driving to the beach, one hand on the wheel, one on his dick because he saw Donald Trump up there. He's like, oh, I got to get this done before I get to the beach. It's if you're still like on board with Trump here, that's the only real explanation. That is incompetence at levels we've never seen before. I've seen Joe Biden not know the answer to questions, but he could turn to somebody who did know the answer. There's not even anybody in this administration that has an answer for that. Pete, maybe the reason he's out there is or doesn't know is because Pete's out filming the worst fucking commercial I've ever seen in my life. This is Pete Hegseth on the lawn of the Pentagon with a drone above him. I think we might have some snipers up there too. There's another drone over here. Lots of drones flying around. And I think that whoever decided to edit this video didn't think about editing out the noise of the drones. For some reason, they haven't figured out how to isolate that or dub in some speaking. We had to leave the noise of the drone. And Pete Hegseth is really struggling with this, which I would too. If I was trying to deliver a monologue and there's a drone a foot from my head going zzz, I would have a hard time delivering a monologue too. But here's Pete Hegseth. For some reason, they've also put Enter Sandman in the background. You'll hear that, and we might have to cut this out. I did look it up. I like Enter Sandman. I like Metallica. This song is the song is about a little girl having nightmares. That's what this song is about. I don't know why they chose this song for the background. It is a really fucking bizarre choice. I think they just like the beat and they want to sound badass. Here's the least badass commercial you'll ever see with a song about a little girl having nightmares. While Pete's nightmare is currently this drone above his head that won't allow him to keep his train of thought.
Manufacturing base by producing thousands of American-made products, prioritizing Buy American. We'll arm combat units with a variety of low-cost, American-crafted drones, leveraging our world-leading engineers and AI experts.
Sounds like you like trying to deliver a message while you got people out there with a weed whacker. Like, this is incredible.
And third, we're going to train as we expect to fight. Senior officers, well, I'll grab this because it's the memo. Senior officers must overcome
all of that so he could take a memo and pull it off a drone. Bro, we've seen drones before. This isn't new. You don't have to teach us about drones. We've all seen a drone. Like, every 12-year-old kid has flown a drone. It's got to take the memo. Yeah, the memo could have just been in the folder. It could have just been in the folder. And who are these people behind here? Hey, guys, you got to get into costume so that we can shoot this commercial. You drone operators, make sure you're in full fatigues here.
Bureaucratic risk aversion in budgeting, weaponeering, and training. So here's the memo we're signing today, delivered via drones. Here on the front lawn of the Pentagon, with some of our great warfighters flying them. This is the future. We're in the fight. We're in the fight to win it. I'm never going to back down. Manufacturing.
Woo! If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
It's by producing thousands.
So stupid. This is so stupid. Well, this costs money. This costs actual money. This is part of the Pentagon budget. They got to pay people to do this. They got to fly these drones. I don't know. It looks like they did it in one take. I hope they did it in one take. This is it's so stupid. What are we doing? If this was a movie, you'd be like, that's not realistic. Nobody would ever do like the dumbest shit ever. This is so unbelievably bad. Remember that show? I don't think it lasted long. I think it was on Apple TV, the Space Force with Steve Carell. And they just like openly mocked how stupid everything they did was and how they tried to like make everything a spectacle. That's this. This is so stupid. Still better than what Biden did on TikTok. Maybe. I don't even know what you're talking about, what Biden did on TikTok, but I don't know if it was more embarrassing than that. Why can't you just say it's embarrassing? How come you have to talk about Biden? That says a lot about you. Amy Lynn said, did he use his powder room first? Yeah, probably. If that shit sounded like bees and now I'm traumatized. Let me see what Jen has here. I don't know if Melissa, thanks for joining the Dollar Train. Brad said, when we doing a meet and greet? I vote Topgolf. We should do that. We should do a meet and greet sometime. Tim said, oh, thank you for joining the Dollar Train there, Tim, as well. I don't think I missed any other ones. I'll update this in a minute. All right. Here's Sammy Duckworth. Yes, Tammy Duckworth. Yesterday we had Trump's ambassador to Singapore, which I forgot to write his name down. Let me get the name here so we have it. One thing about this isn't terribly unusual, but ambassador roles are generally they're largely ceremonial, and a lot of times the role of ambassador is given either to a political opponent who endorsed you or a donor who gave you a lot of money. Let's see. This was to Singapore. I can get his name. I can only assume this is how this man got there. His name is Anjani Sinha. He's, as far as I know, just like Trump's friend. And I know he gave him a bunch of money. He showed up to a Senate hearing to talk about his role as ambassador to Singapore. And he doesn't seem to know anything about Singapore. Here is Tammy Duckworth exposing that Dr. Anjani Sinha, who's from Florida, I guess we could have got there, doesn't know a goddamn thing about Singapore, but he is the ambassador.
What does holding the ASEAN chairmanship entail for Singapore? Can you name one thing? A role that they will have to play as ASEAN chair. What will?
Well, there you know that there. This ASEAN chair is not only one country. There are 10 countries involved.
No, the ASEAN chair is one country.
One country, 10. But there are 10 countries involved as an ASEAN group.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question, sir. Can you name one thing that will be of critical importance to Singapore as ASEAN chair? A role. There are many things. Can you name one
Defense,
thing?
Economics.
Those are very broad. Name an issue.
Trade.
I don't think, no. Okay, let's do something. In what way does the United States Navy work with Singapore, and how do you envision strengthening the U.S. Navy's work with Singapore? And are there any facilities that come to mind that are central?
Amanda, this isn't Florida hate. You should hate your own state for sending people up like this. You gotta take less pride in your state.
Our relationship with Singapore.
Thank you for your question, but we have a naval presence in Singapore, and our military, they always do exercise with the Singapore. They come here, the Army of Singapore, they come here for the training as well. So we have a close ties with the Singapore in defense.
Can you name a specific thing? Please, I'm trying to help you here, but you've not even done your homework, sir. You want to be ambassador to Singapore, one of the most important friends we have in the Indo-Pacific, a key place that we're going to be fighting against our greatest adversary in the region, the PRC. Singapore may feature incredible culture, but that should not be treated as a glamour posting. This nation is too important to the United States, to ASEAN, to the entire region. And frankly, I think the mission is important to U.S. interests and national security, and it should actually be a foreign service officer. But I have even larger concerns with the political pick, when that political pick is somebody as unqualified as you. I've opposed political picks for Singapore from Democrats. So this is not a partisan issue. I just feel that you are not taking this seriously, and you think this is a glamour posting, that you're going to live a nice life in Singapore. But what we need is someone who's going to actually do the work. I'm out of time. I have a couple additional questions related to management that I'll submit for the record.
There we go. No idea. It is good to see the Republicans losing it in the chat, though. Yeah, well, is it better than Democrats? Shut the fuck up. We'll talk about Democrats in a little bit. This is not a Democrat-friendly live either. Just toughen up, folks. It's not going to get any better. In fact, here we go. We'll talk about Democrats right now. Here's Bill Kristol, because the current line of attack on the Democrats from conservatives and from moderate Democrats is that the Democratic Party is moving too far left. And I would say it's not moving left enough, not moving far enough left quickly enough. Bill Kristol here is a moderate, though, is just here to ease your minds. Sharia law's not here yet, even though you think it is. We still have a bunch of now moderate Democrats who are gaining steam.
Think about where Trump is right now. Stock market's at a record high. He's had a number of successes. And then
think about where Trump's at right now. We have a stock market at a record high, which has literally been achieved by every president in this country since the stock market existed. So it's not an accomplishment at all. It's just a thing that happens when somebody's president, and other accomplishments. So many other accomplishments. We're not going to name those because we can't think of any, but so many others.
And you have Democrats moving to nominate and probably elect a guy who wants government-run grocery stores. Is the never Trump middle out in the cold or out in the tundra?
You know, Leland, there are 3 important elections this November. I'm sure you know.
How are those the options?
Now, obviously, Donald Trump has done very well, and Bob Donnie, who is a mayoral candidate, he wants government-run supermarkets. So you tell me, are they freezing cold, or are they going to die in the tundra outside? Those are your only 2 options, sir. Go.
What are we talking about? What a fucking crazy question.
Are they the worst, or are they even worse than the worst? Bill, your answer?
That, don't you? Virginia governor, maybe you've heard of Virginia, New Jersey governor, and New York City mayor. Virginia and New Jersey are a little bigger than New York City, actually, but they're comparable in size. I live in Virginia. The nominee is not a left-wing socialist. It's Abigail Spanberger.
Yep.
She worked for the CIA for 15 years. Is that okay with you in terms of credentials?
No, for me, that's not okay, but that is going to work really well for moderates.
For being kind of middle America, patriotic. Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey, is that okay with you? Navy helicopter pilot for 20 years? So 2 out of the 3 are centrist, hawkish, I would say, mainstream Democrats. 1 of the 3 is a left-winger. So that's the balance of power in the party about. 2 out of 3 members.
So you didn't answer my question. Are they in a freezer?
Are they is it chirurgenically? Is that how you say that? Frozen?
Or are they just wandering in the frozen tundra? You have not answered my question yet, sir.
Democrats are fucking moderate, and it sucks. That's why they suck. Democrats suck because they're too fucking moderate, and nobody gives a shit about what moderates say. Nobody's looking for a fence sitter. We want people who are going to enact real change. That's the problem that we all have with the Democratic Party, is they do almost nothing, and we would like them to do something.
2 out of the 3 elect, and incidentally, they're all going to win, or at least I assume they'll win. So that'll be great. Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill, governors of 2 pretty large states, getting a lot of attention. And, of course, Mamdani, if he wins, getting attention as well.
So, understood.
And you didn't mention, I don't know
so, fuck.
why you didn't mention Spanberger and Sherrill. I'm sure you're covering them as much as Mamdani, right?
No, No.
No, we're not covering any of that stuff. We're only talking about Mom Donnie because we get to call him a communist because he wants government-run grocery stores, and he's a Muslim. So we're not going to talk about these other people. We want to present your party as everybody is Mom Donnie. Everybody's just Mom Donnie.
Boring. I think you would say
boring
that,
because it's the truth, Leland. It's the truth.
What you say they're boring and that they are boring and that's the truth?
The truth is they won primaries in this state. Spanberger was so
Right.
popular she didn't have a primary. In the Democratic Party, that party that's full of socialists, that's so far to the left, that nominates Abigail Spanberger in Virginia and Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey.
Yeah. There is the hysteria. This is the first time in recent memory that the hysteria isn't working. Because this hysteria works in like regular times. We're not in regular times. Everybody knows that this administration's hiding the Epstein files. Everybody knows it. The immigration policies and the way that we're carrying out mass deportations is deeply, deeply unpopular. And it's daily on full display just how dumb Donald Trump is. So all these other things that they're trying to distract with, they're like the 50th thing on the list. Fox News is desperate to get you to talk about Mom Donnie. That's all they want you to talk about. And again, why? Because we're going to have government-run grocery stores? Oh, no. I don't want to buy groceries if nobody makes a profit. If I buy fruit snacks, I need a CEO making money or I don't like it. That is anti-American. Oh, no. The stuff that they're trying to get you to be outraged about only works if you're like a dipshit. Only works if you're just like, we have to do everything possible to not say mean things about Donald Trump. So we're going to care about government-run grocery stores. How will we ever survive that? According to 4 officials inside of FEMA, by the way, if you remember last week, Kristi Noem showed up in Texas. And this is another problem that this administration has. Kristi Noem shows up in Texas and says, we did everything perfectly. We're so great. I was on it from day one. There were no delays. Unlike the last administration who had to wait to get things approved. Not in this administration. At the same time, they want to cut FEMA. It's a very bizarre position that they're taking right now. Like in Texas, while you have some pretty important elections coming up in Texas, which has become more and more of a purple state, you're going to show up and you're going to tell the people, we did everything perfectly. I'm great at this. Also, we're going to cut FEMA. You know what's going to happen next year in Texas? Flooding. You know what's going to happen next year in Texas? A hurricane. You know what's going to happen in Texas? Record heat. All of these things are going to keep happening. And they're telling you, like, you're on your own, Texas. We'd like to cut FEMA. But Kristi Noem, who went out and said specifically, almost unprompted, that unlike the past administration, there were no delays. Turns out, as 4 whistleblowers now have come forward, said that there was a new rule that any expected expenditure over $100,000 needed sign-off from Kristi Noem. And apparently it took Kristi Noem 3 days to sign off on this. Now, what was she doing during that time? She was holding a Twitter poll about her governor portrait, which I probably should have had these. Let me pull them up. She wanted people to vote on what her governor portrait would be. If you ever needed any evidence that Kristi Noem is just cosplaying a human being, let me show you the options for her governor portrait. Which one should we pick? Which one of these should we pick? That's what she was doing while she could have been approving these. Hey guys, I need your opinion on my governor pick, please. This looks like the bathroom art in a Cracker Barrel. Like if you're just taking a leak and you look over the urinal and there's Kristi Noem in her white cowgirl. Nothing screams, I'm a woman of the people, like a complete head to toe white outfit on the back of a horse. That's what she was doing. Her entire life, this entire thing is a cosplay. She's just out there trying to play government. Here's a story from CNN.
So according to 4 officials inside FEMA, that federal response may not have been as fast as it might have been. They say that a new rule that any expenditure over $100,000 needed sign-off from Secretary Noem slowed the federal response. These sources tell us that FEMA's deployment of urban search and rescue teams, which are typically deployed in anticipation they might be needed, instead was delayed until Monday, 3 days after the flood. Now, a source also tells us that a request Texas made for FEMA aerial imagery to aid in the search was also delayed, waiting for Secretary Noem's approval.
Cue the chat saying, CNN, oh yeah, you would use CNN, fake news. Cue it.
Now, additionally, multiple FEMA officials say that they were taken aback by the agency's relatively limited response in the immediate aftermath of the disaster. CNN has reached out to FEMA for comment. So far, no reply from the agency. However, a DHS spokeswoman more generally told CNN that FEMA is, in her words, quote, shifting from bloated DC-centric dead weight to a lean deployable disaster force that empowers state actors to provide relief for their citizens.
All right, so there we go. There we go. Amy Lynn said, did you know Kerr County denied funding for warning because it was from Obama? And then another time from Biden, the counties around accepted the accepted the grants. Yeah, I did see that. It's actually a pretty crazy story. You can go and you can read like the quotes from the public hearing that they held. So during I think for the infrastructure bill, there was money granted to Kerr County to prepare for disaster relief, and part of that was the warning system, like I don't even know how that system works, like the speakers that would give out an audible warning when you had flash flood warnings. And you can read the dialogue from those meetings where people were saying, I don't care if it's good or bad, like I don't agree with this administration, I don't agree with the spending of this administration, so we're either going to not take that money, or we're going to take that money and we're going to use it on someone else. And so they did take that money and they used it on just paying the police more money. Yeah, it absolutely happened. Because you guys are just ideologues. You have the same problem that Andrew Wilson's going to have tonight. You're all ideologues. But your ideology is actually just like Donald Trump. Whatever the other side does is evil and bad. And so you just oppose whatever they do, no matter what. Ironically, like the people in here, like this channel, all they do is talk bad about people trying to help the country. Listen, bitch, I don't give a fuck if you're trying to help the country or not. I don't give a fuck about effort. I don't give a fuck about like what you believe. If it's not helping, we have to call it out. Yeah, but they're trying their best. Well, their best is shitty. Like really, really shitty and stupid. So we have to call that out. And that's part of like being in government. If you work in the government, you're going to be criticized. And if you're one of those people who is in here simping for government officials, yeah, why are you guys always so mean to them? I don't get it. Why do you guys criticize the government? Because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we do over here. Thurman said, here's a donation from the Democrat funding that Texas refused to accept. Ninja said, would you rather we watch tonight's debate on your channel or invade the hosting channel and call out the racist punks? I think you should go wherever you want to go. Just remember that in order to watch the live stream on our channel, it's subscriber only. So you need to have a paid subscription either on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok to watch it with us. I'll just say I didn't see the comments from the last time I was in there because I can't see them when I go through Streamlabs, but I heard they were vile. And I know the DMs that I got, and I know the tags that I got, and I have a feeling you won't like it. But if you want to go roll around in the mud with some white nationalists, it's a good place to go. Dank said, Jay, I think you should remind and let the new people coming in understand you aren't even a Democrat and you worked for Mitt Romney, call-in Trumpers. That's true. I am not a Democrat. I'm still a registered Republican, but not because I support Republicans, just because that's what makes sense where I live if I want to vote in primaries. I'm not a Democrat. I have a lot of criticism for the Democrats. I voted for Harris. One of my biggest regrets about Harris is that there will be clips of me probably. I mean, there are clips out there of me where I don't think I was critical enough of Harris and Biden specifically. And I did that in I think probably pressure. Like I desperately wanted Trump to lose because of exactly what's happening right now. But I do think that it leaves me open to at least some fair criticism that I didn't always call balls and strikes on Harris. I think that's probably fair. I can't stand the Democratic Party. I can't stand what they're doing right now. I can't stand Hakeem Jeffries. I can't stand Chuck Schumer. I can't stand Richie Torres. I'm tired of these people standing in the way of progress, pretending that they care about the American people while just like doing the status quo. I can even with the MAGA side, like everything you guys believe is stupid. And not true, and you elected an idiot, but at the very least they're trying something. Chuck Schumer's not even trying. They're just like sitting on their hands like, eventually the Republicans will screw up enough that people will vote for us. That's fucking inspiring. That's really inspiring, Chuck Schumer. I know that nobody wants to vote for us, but if everything gets really bad, then maybe people will vote for us again. I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party. I think they need a massive overhaul, and I don't have any intention on supporting the party as a whole. I will support candidates that I like, and I won't be at events. I'm not going to go to campaign events. I'm not going to go to live events. I'm not going to go to DNC events. They need to fix their shit. I don't think anybody should support the DNC right now. I can't imagine like waking up in the morning working for the DNC and being like, we're doing great things, because they're doing almost nothing. Here's Tom Homan. Who still hasn't figured out how to speak and enunciate. He was on with whoever the shit this guy is. I don't know. Fox News is bringing out all sorts of people I've never seen before. And he's telling you something that is unequivocally untrue here.
A reaction to this Biden-appointed federal judge out in Los Angeles, apparently expected today to issue a temporary restraining order halting your lawful operations. She says, I think it's important for the court not to burden otherwise lawful law enforcement activities. Your reaction there?
Look, people need to understand, ICE officers and Border Patrol, they don't need probable cause to walk up to somebody, briefly detain them, and question them.
You hear that, folks? ICE doesn't need probable cause to detain you. That's not true. It's not a real thing. That's just that. This is just, and you might have missed it because it sounded like, so I'm going to interpret. They're saying that in this country, you no longer need to be suspected of anything for ICE to come up and detain you and question you. You can just be walking down the street, minding your own goddamn business, and ICE gets to come up and question you and detain you. That's what Tom Homan is saying. Somebody want to cite that law? Somebody want to point to the part of the Constitution that says that's okay? In fact, I live in Arizona. We already ruled against this. The Supreme Court specifically ruled against this. The Supreme Court specifically ruled that ICE agents and Border Patrol, they are not allowed to detain you for no reason. That's why Joe Arpaio is a convicted felon. Because the Supreme Court said you have to, or the court said, yeah, you can't do that. And he said, fuck you. And he did it anyways. And then the Supreme Court ruled on it and he said, fuck you. And then he's a convicted felon now. We've actually already had court cases on this. This has all happened before. But what we didn't have before is a bought and paid for Supreme Court that's just rubber stamping this type of shit. That's not, this is America, where law enforcement can stop and detain you for no reason. They don't have to have any reason to stop and detain you. Just they can be suspicious and they can do it. Or you can be suspicious so they can do it. Now, I know most of you are like, that would never happen to me. And you're probably right. And you're probably white, so it probably won't. But for those of you who aren't white, just know that you're allowed to be stopped and detained without any probable cause.
Just need this totality of the circumstances, right? They just got through the observation, get articulable facts based on their location, their occupation, their physical appearance.
Make that bitch say articulable one more time, please. Articulable.
Their actions, like a uniformed border patrol walks up to them at for instance, a Home Depot. And they got all these articulable facts, plus the person walks away or runs away. Agents are trained. What they need to...
what are the articulable facts? What are they? If you walk into a Home Depot and you have all of these facts, what are they? Articulate them, please, Tom. What are the facts? That there's people at Home Depot that have brown skin, and then they ran. Ho! Get them, boys! They're running. Maybe they're running because you just said that they can be detained for no fucking reason. Maybe they're running because you said that you get to stop and question them. They don't want to do that. Maybe they're running because they're here illegally. Who knows? That's your job to figure it out.
We've got new subscribers.
You guys are advocating for a police state now? In this country, if a police officer shows up and detains you, you bend over and you take it, and MAGA's like, yeah. Take it. Take it.
Detain somebody temporarily and question them. It's not probable cause, it's reasonable suspicion. We're trained on that. Every agent, every 6 months get Fourth Amendment training over and over again. These officers are really good at what they do. And if this judge would make a decision that's against what these officers are trained, what the law is based.
Bro, you got to finish your words, man. You got to finish your words. You can't just stop words halfway through all the time. This is really difficult to understand. I'm starting to think that possibly the reason that all of these ICE agents don't understand due process, they don't understand rights, is because they haven't heard a word that this mushmouth moron has said. This is insane. Like, why do you have the dumbest guy possible up there be as the leader? Why? Why'd you choose the dumbest fucking idiot to be in charge? Yeah, it's okay. You guys could just trample all over rights. It doesn't matter as long as they're brown.
Upon, then they're going to shut down operation. I think that's your end game. They want ICE to stop doing this, but if they base it on the rule of law, they're going to find out Border Patrol and ICE is doing exactly what they're going to do in accordance with law.
And you're not going to stop coming. Tom Homan, thank you for getting up with this.
I forgot about that. Clip this part.
What the law is based upon, then they're going to shut down operation. I think that's your end game. They want ICE to stop doing this, but if they base it on the rule of law, they're going to find out Border Patrol and ICE is doing exactly what they're going to do in accordance with law.
And you're not going to stop coming. Tom Homan, thank you for getting up.
I bet he stopped years ago. I'm just gonna guess that he stopped that years ago, and if he does, it's mostly dust. I don't think he's still doing that. His wife doesn't even live with him anymore. I think his wife's out. His wife got out of here. You talk a lot of shit online like you're a tough guy. In person, you'll be real quiet. Shut up.
We've got new subscribers.
In person, I would talk this same shit, and then you would get really hysterical and try and fight me, and then I would call you a little bitch for trying to fight because you can't use your words. That's what dumb people say. Yeah, in person you wouldn't say this. Yeah, I would. And in person, if you would try and fight me because I'd say this, then I think like you're just like a little bit hysterical. Toughen up. Why are you trying to fight people over words? I would say it right to your face. I would say it right to your face, and then you would try and fight me, and then I would laugh at you for trying to fight me. That's what Tom Homan schooled AOC. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He destroyed AOC. Old Mushmouth was killing it. Let me check Jen here. What is brown and sticky? Johnny says that it would be a stick. It's true. Rory said, question, what's stopping masked men from grabbing anyone? Nothing. In fact, we've already had multiple instances of people dressing up like ICE and trying to kidnap people. It's happened multiple times. Why? Because we don't force ICE to identify themselves. Because people will be mad. Yeah, if your whole country's mad at the police because they are doing things that the country doesn't like, maybe stop doing that thing. This was from Britt. Good to see Britt again. It's a story out of a West Side Rag. It's been reported everywhere, but I think this was the first one that reported it here. This was a baseball coach from Riverside Park. Said after coaching baseball on the west side of Manhattan for more than 20 years, Human Wilder said he had a first-of-a-kind experience at the end of last month. Wilder was leading a group of 11 middle school and high school kids through a batting cage practice near 72nd Street in Riverside Park, or 72nd Street, sorry, and when he had an unexpected run-in with the United States Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents. I go over quickly, and the agents are asking the kids inappropriate things like where they are from, their country of origin. So I say, whoa, and I tell the officers that their questions are inappropriate, and then I'm going to tell my kids not to answer them. On July 3rd, WSNR sent an email to a United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement agency to confirm if agents had been in Riverside Park on that day. On July 7th, we received a call from the spokesperson from the agency who wasn't able to confirm anything on the record at the time, but said they would send an email with an official statement by Thursday. The RAG has not received that email as of Friday morning, and we have sent multiple follow-up calls and emails. We will update the story if we do hear back on the record from the federal agency. This is exactly what you're talking about. We have no idea who those people were. We don't know. First of all, there's people questioning kids. If that is ICE, what the fuck are they doing questioning kids? If not, we can't tell the difference between ICE and not ICE, and we can't get confirmation from ICE. That's a problem. That's a problem if people show up in a costume and masked and they start asking your kids questions, and we don't know if they're law enforcement or not. On July 3rd, Upper West Side Assembly member Linda Rosenthal included a section in her newsletter titled ICE Sighting on the Upper West Side. I recently learned that ICE agents approached a group of kids attending baseball practice near the batting cages near West 71st Street in Riverside Park. The only thing that stood between those kids in Riverside Park and a Florida detention center buried deep in the Everglades was a brave coach who knew the law. They had an interview with Wilder, who's the baseball coach. I won't read this all now, actually. You guys can go read it. But essentially, the problem we have here is exactly what that comment said. We have no idea who these people are. They're now approaching children. They're abusing children. They're hurting children. We have no idea if these are actual ICE agents, if they are bounty hunters. We don't know if these are deputized Proud Boys. We have no idea. Keep it up, and ICE will have to start arresting all the people that do not disperse. I think you meant their hoodie. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. What's going to happen is this is going to continue, and then you're going to have ICE start arresting American citizens. That's where we're at. The very thing that we told you guys would happen. The very thing, Hoodie, you've been here for a long time, and you've been accusing us of fear-mongering for a long time. A lot of the shit that you accused us of fear-mongering for is happening, and you're still right here. Say, oh, yeah, it's fine. It was fear-mongering when we said it. Now that it's coming true, you're just fine with it, which is what we said would happen. We said that you didn't actually care about this. You just wanted to win the election. So you guys all just sat around and lied, and you said that it wasn't about this, and it turns out it's about this. Here's a farm in Ventura, California that ICE was raiding. Once again, ICE, all these people that work at ICE, especially Tom Homan, every single person here working for ICE is a bitch. And I think that's important to remember. All of them are. They don't want to go after violent criminals. They don't want to go into neighborhoods that are actually causing problems. They don't want to go after illegal immigrants that actually are hurting people because they are cowards. And so instead, they're going to go after workers. Here's Ventura, California, ICE showing up to raid a field. Look at all these people causing us all these problems in a field.
Of that is that there are questions as to how humanely this is being handled. Whether these people who are maybe here illegally, but whether they're being offered or can be pointed in the direction of a path to citizenship. There's certain.
Hey, real quick, whoever just said I saved 15 kids from illegal labor on a pot farm in California. I think this is the field you're talking about. I don't know if this was a pot farm or not. This is the one that they're talking about. Just watch how they treat kids. Stick around. And let's see about the rescuing kids thing.
Is that criticism, but you also have Republicans at the same time accusing Democrats and those on the left of amplifying this rhetoric against federal agents and ICE agents. So we're seeing this finger pointing.
All right, Julia, we may have to step away.
It's a strawberry field. Thank you.
Really quickly here, the situation at the farm has escalated. It looks like a lot of tear gas and whatever this green smoke is as well. And a protester threw something toward the ICE officers there, but a lot of cars turned.
I love this. Republicans, keep talking. Go out in public. Keep talking like this. Keep talking about this all day long. Yeah, well, the law's the law, so we're going to abuse people. Keep saying it. It's great for us. Keep defending it. Keep defending abusing people. Keep defending dehumanizing people. That's going to work for you really well. I'm going to show you some clips here in a little bit about how everybody's turning on you right now. But I need you guys to keep it up. Don't lose that energy. Stay mad, stay racist, and be really fucking vocal about it. Don't stop being mad and racist, folks. Don't give it up now. You finally got your angry racist in office. Don't let it go. You guys got to keep that up. Keep that energy. Don't start saying that you care about children, please. Keep up the energy.
Around and exiting, so it looks like something happened that forced that crowd to turn and run. Rich, are you?
All right. Well, let's.
Still, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So as we're listening to the radio chatter down here, the fire department actually had to leave this zone and head back to their where they have set up a command center for treatment for the civilians. And they said that they needed to leave the area because the crowd was starting to get a little more hostile. So for the safety of the fire department, they have left this zone here on Laguna Road. And then shortly after that is when we started seeing the tear gas and the flashbangs and the pepper balls being fired back towards the crowd. But the crowd was also picking up items, rocks, whatever I guess they can find on the ground, and starting to throw them back towards federal agents, which is just going to create an even more volatile situation here between agents and the community members. And they at some point are just going to continue to push this crowd further and further away from.
Amy said, my white American kids worked in the strawberry fields at 13 and 14. Yeah, I worked in the fields. In fact, I worked for the Mormon church. I used to go out to, I used to have to go clean like pig stalls. When I was, it started when I was 12 until I was 18, and I did that for free. But the Mormon Church never got raided for using child labor. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what the labor laws are for children in California. I know what they are in Alabama. I know what they are in southern states, and I know you guys are trying to lower them. Whatever happened to like kids should learn to work. Jen, are you here? You want to do announcements real quick? Because I have a message for you. No, maybe not.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Courtney, I am Exmo. Peacock. I know some peacocks. Angie wants to know. She said, Angie said she's not feeling herself today. Can she feel you?
Not if you want to keep your hands, but
all right. There you go.
Anything else? Yeah.
No, you want to do the announcements real quick?
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure if there were other messages. I just was giving more time to see if there were.
Not directed at you. Tim said, or Adam said, Tom Homan always sounds like he's in the middle of a drunken stroke. That's pretty good. How about it, Jed?
Hold on a second.
Just lose you?
No, I'm here. I was trying to switch something.
What are you doing? This is suspicious.
Well, no, I was just so I've got. I mean, you know, I've got I do have 3 phones, but some of the mics are shit on some of them. So I saw someone mention something about. I saw my mic sounded weird, so I was just switching to a different phone that didn't sound like shit.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so we're supposed to be like an hour away from Friendly Friday, and it looks like we're a little ways from our gift goal. To be able to do Friendly Friday, we need to get much closer to that. So if you guys could help us out with the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, all go towards knocking down that goal so we can get to Friendly Friday. Cue YouTube, get a real job. 3, 2, 1. And then if, like Jay mentioned, he is debating the fantastically stupid Andrew Wilson later tonight. So and we are going to have some private watch parties. If you are a subscriber on any of the platforms, on YouTube, you have to be a member. It's a paid membership on YouTube. We have private watch parties. So on YouTube, if you're a member, we have a stream, so you don't have to be in the Raging Tomatoes. And then if you're TikTok and Twitch, we're going to be streaming it from our Discord. If you are a subscriber and aren't in the Discord, you can send any mod a DM, and we can get you an invite to get over there and do that. So yeah, subscribe so you can join us for the watch party. If you guys disagree with RTP, you want to prove him wrong, you can come up and talk to him in real time. You don't have to be in the comments. Stacy, I'm talking to you. You're here all the time. Stacy Johnson. You're here all the time. So if you want to come prove him wrong because he's a demonic dem, because that was a thing too that she called us, that Democrats are demons on earth. Which, I mean, okay.
That's right. We're here to haunt you. Sent by
Exactly.
the devil himself to haunt you.
Yep. So if you guys would like to do that, my Discord username is the Venmo. So Jen with 2 N's, Deb with 2 B's, the number 1. I can bring you up and talk to them in real time. Also check out our link tree. We are on most social media platforms. We've got merch, Cameo, and Spotify. And yeah, there's those. Did you hear about the spy who came in from the cold?
The spy that came in from the cold?
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
He was undercover.
I'm looking at this this ICE raid it was the Glass House Cannabis Farms, and I do want to say shout out. I like that. I like that there were minors working there. If they were working there illegal, if they were under the age that you're allowed to be to work at Glass House Cannabis Farms, then I think that's a good thing that ICE did. I have no idea. I said there were 10 minors. 8 of them were so out of the 10 minors they found, 8 of them were in the country illegally. I don't know what the rules are. I'm working on a cannabis farms. I don't know but I did notice I've been looking. I don't see anything about the owner of Glass House Cannabis Farms being arrested. What happened there? We're not going to arrest the owner or the hiring manager? None of those? Just the workers? I have no problem with them going after child labor. I think that there are things that ICE could do that would be good. And if this is one of those instances where you found 10 children who were working illegally, then I would say that that's a good thing that ICE did. We'll see. But I would like to know whether or not they raided or arrested the owner. I'm going to guess they didn't. Over on TikTok, by the way, thank you guys. Up to 72,000 likes. Joyful Peer in the lead as the #1 viewer, followed by Shrugs, Chops, Amanda, and God back into the top 5. Shout out God. Thanks for being here. Does anybody know if they arrested the owner from Glass House Cannabis Farms? I don't think so. I don't see it in there. And for the Republicans, I would imagine those of you who liked that raid, I imagine you guys also want the owner arrested. I don't see a lot of owners being arrested for hiring illegal labor. Did they deport the kids? I think that 8 of those kids are now in ICE detention. I don't know what the deportation order looks like, but they are currently, from this story, it looks like they're in ICE detention. Dank Magician says, look here, look, listen. Thank you. All right, I was listening. Here's the polling that I was talking about. This is according to a new Gallup poll. You can look here. The shift in opinion on immigration's effects on the United States. Now, on the whole, is the question: do you think immigration is a good thing or bad thing for this country today? Republicans are up to 64% saying it's a good thing. A majority of Republicans think immigration is a good thing, up from right before the election at about 39%. 80% of independents and 91% of Democrats. You're seeing that the stuff that the Republicans are getting upset with us about right now and wanting a more humane immigration policy, that seems to be trending across Republicans, independents, and Democrats. That we view immigration as a good thing. And you're also seeing more approval for things like amnesty. So that's pretty cool. Good to see that. I had missed this story. I caught it right before we went live, and I threw it in here. I did not know this happened, but here's Joe Rogan speaking to, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but they were talking about Joe Rogan apparently had a private dinner with Trump and UFC CEO Dana White, and here's how it went.
I mean, that would have been... Imagine if the same ownership was in place, and then Harris wins, and they continue to ramp things up.
From my real job paycheck to your real job paycheck. Thank you, Marlene.
Yeah, I don't know what you think of the new administration. Certainly there are things that I like about and some of their pro-tech posture and things like that. But what's happening now is it's kind of disappointing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We were told there would be no. Well, there's 2 things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses. or not. Like there's a Did you see this video of this Turkish students at Tufts University that wrote an essay, and then there's a video of like ICE agents like. I don't know.
Is that the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her essay about? It was just critical of Israel, right?
Just critical of Israel. Yeah, I mean.
And that's enough to get you kicked out of the country.
I mean, there's a long history of anti-colonial activism in U.S. colleges, that led to South Africa changing and all of that, and I think this is a continuation of that. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I do know he voted for Trump. And the difference between Joe Rogan and you guys is that when new information comes out, Joe Rogan doesn't continue to gargle Trump's balls like you guys. Because you guys voted for Trump because you want Trump. You don't give a shit about his ideas. You don't give a shit about how it affects American people. Rogan, for whatever you want to say about him, at least he's being intellectually honest. He says, I voted to get dangerous criminals out of this country because that's what they campaigned on. They told you that the people coming to this country were here illegally and they were dangerous and they were going to go after the violent criminals. And so Rogan's like, yeah, I agree with that. And now that he sees what the rest of us are seeing, that everybody in ICE is just a bunch of cowards who don't want to do real police work. They don't want to really go after dangerous criminals. They just want to raid fields because they're probably racist. I saw Steve saying in here, like, I'm training to be an ICE agent. Steve, respectfully, wherever you are, go fuck yourself. You get no respect from me. If you are training to join ICE now, fuck off. No, you deserve zero respect. And I hope that's the amount of respect that you get when you go do these raids. I hope that everybody disrespects you. I hope that everybody shouts mean things at you. And imagine wanting to join ICE right now. That's crazy.
I agree with all their, there's a lot of radicalism. A lot of young people are attracted to like more radical positions on Israel Palestine, and
which I don't mind those positions as long as someone's able to counter those positions.
Right.
The problem is these supposed free speech warriors want to silence anybody who has a more conservative opinion.
Yes.
That's not the way to handle it. The way to handle it is to have a better argument.
That's not American.
It's not American.
I mean, what attracted him to this country?
It's so crazy that they say like that we want to silence it. Who got silenced? Who got? I don't remember anybody being arrested for their political views. And I'm talking about their political views. We're arresting people in this country for their views. You had that tough student that they referenced there. She was arrested because she said that Israel was cruel to the Palestinians, and she got arrested for that. What you guys complained about with cancel culture is actually just like people saying that they didn't like you, or people saying I don't really want this person in my organization, which is allowed. You're allowed to run your organization the way that you want, and if somebody is espousing views that are that don't match the views of your organization, like you're allowed to distance yourself from that person. If that person just openly is criticizing you, Joe Rogan said people tried to cancel him. Nobody tried to cancel Joe Rogan. People just gave him pushback for saying dumb shit about the vaccine. It's crazy, like, that this was enough, like, them being criticized online was enough for them to all of a sudden get in the political arena and support Donald Trump. And now the people are actually having their rights stripped. It's not enough for them to switch positions, but it's enough for them at least to say, this seems a little bit off to me. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I think a lot of you would probably be surprised at the type of comedy that I watch. Like, I don't mind Kill Tony. I don't mind some of these. I don't mind some of these comedians who test the boundaries, because that's what's supposed to happen in that arena. Like, comedy is a different arena than political commentary. However, the stuff that I laugh at, like that I may laugh at a comedy show, I don't get to say that here. I don't repeat those jokes here because not everybody here has the same comedic opinions, and it depends on the venue that you're at. Like, I've laughed at some jokes. I've laughed at like a cancer joke, but that cancer joke might not be near as funny in a different scenario. I've laughed at dumb shit my friends have done. I've laughed at dumb shit that my friends have said. But in a like a town hall, that's not funny because there's people there that it does affect. What we've seen is just like the pussification of the right, where they think that they're just allowed to say whatever they want without pushback, and when they get pushback, they cry cancel culture. There's a time and a place for you to say dark things. A lot of us, especially if you had childhood trauma, if you're coming out of a cult like me, I've got a very dark sense of humor. My family has a very dark sense of humor. There are a lot of things that happen on my family group chat that like wouldn't be appropriate in a public setting, but that's why it's on the group chat and not in a fucking public setting. And I think that Republicans just don't understand that sometimes. They don't understand, and even as a comedian, I think Anthony Jeselnik said this too. He said he didn't believe in cancel culture. Cancel culture against a comedian is just them saying like that's not funny. Not enough people thought that was funny. That's just real feedback. If you are a comedian and you make jokes that a lot of people find offensive, and then suddenly your crowds are a third of the size, that means people didn't think it was funny. That's free market capitalism, baby, isn't it? Isn't it? If people don't show up to your show because they're offended, should they have to show up to your show? You're offended. You have to keep showing up. No, they just didn't think it was funny. Same reason you guys don't think a lot of my jokes are funny on the right. When I make fun of Trump, when I call him a dipshit, when I talk about him shitting his pants, you guys don't think that's funny. Do I think you're canceling me? No. I just think that you're sensitive about Trump, so some of my jokes you're not going to find funny. Half the people here think some of my jokes are funny. The other half don't. That's not cancel culture. That's just culture. But it is interesting to watch these comedians now line up who were in Trump's pocket. We'll get to them in, what do we got, about an hour left. I'll get to them here in a second. I wanted to cover one more story, and then we'll get into the Epstein shit. Out on True Social, because that's where we do politics now. That's where our president does his official business. He sent a letter to Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, who is the president of Brazil. He said, I knew and dealt with former President Jair Bolsonaro and respected him greatly, as did most other leaders of countries. This feels like it was written in crayon and then typed up. The way that Brazil has treated former President Bolsonaro, a highly respected leader throughout the world during his term, including by the United States, is an international disgrace. This trial should not be taking place. It is a witch hunt that should end immediately. What's happening in Brazil is Bolsonaro lost the election, tried to claim that it was stolen, and then they tried to storm their capital, and now they're holding, because they're like a legitimate country and not a complete banana republic, they actually held a trial, and they're holding a trial against Bolsonaro. And they're telling him he can't run anymore because he tried to overthrow the government, which in a normal democracy makes sense. But in America, we don't do that. And so because now they are holding their own people accountable, President Trump has decided that's not fair. I don't like it. So now he's putting tariffs on Brazil, due in part to Brazil's insidious attacks on free elections and the fundamental free speech rights of Americans. It's weird. I don't. Are we reading this? Due in part to Brazil's insidious attacks on free elections and the fundamental free speech right of Americans. I don't think our free speech rights of Americans in Brazil matter. Right? Like, we're allowed to say whatever we want. What does that have to do with this? And unlawful censorship to U.S. social media platforms, threatening them with millions of dollars in fines and eviction from the Brazilian social media market, which they can do. Like, now we're trying to tell Brazil that we control whether or not they can censor social media in their country. So because of that, because Bolsonaro's getting in trouble, and because Trump's friends at Facebook and at Twitter are being threatened with fines, we're going to charge a 50% tariff on any and all Brazilian products sent into the United States. So Trump is going to tax you, all of you. I hope you don't like coffee. Hope you want your oil prices to go to be more expensive. Trump is going to tax you because he doesn't like what Brazil is doing in their own country with their own people, which is holding a trial. That's the timeline we're in now. That when Trump doesn't like what happens in other countries, he taxes you. Yeah, derpy derp. This is what we voted for. Jimmy said, hope I didn't offend anyone. I don't know. Did you? X-Men. What were today an X-Men about? Maybe I don't get that joke. So that's what we're doing now. Now Donald Trump taxes you when things don't go his way in Brazil. Hey. Jen? No? All right. So
go look at our chat for maybe check some of the comments over there.
Oh. What do you call a group of trans female superheroes? X-Men. Oh, that's a pretty good joke. What do you call a group of trans female superheroes? X-Men. Hope I didn't offend anyone. Yeah, there you go. You can be offended by that. And this we're gonna test it out. This is one of those times, Kimmy. It was brave. This is exactly what we were talking about. Kimmy tried a joke. I don't know if people got offended by it. I didn't get offended by it. This is one of those times. Sometimes you take a risk with a joke. Hope he says, as an obese, middle-aged, white, cis male, I'm well-suited for a job in ICE, but I lack the requisite racism. Ah, well, no bounties for me. Amy said, we will enforce laws against agents detaining, abusing, and kidnapping folks. Yeah, not here. Cookie said, I don't care what their argument is. We have concentration camps on U.S. soil, the Gestapo kidnapping anyone, apparently, a police state at best, 30s Germany at worst. Devin said, don't say my real name. This is Devo. MAGA screams Lake and Riley to villainize immigrants, but turn a blind eye to the men that fake being enforcement officers assaulting brown-skinned women. Facts. Cam said, Sourdough Sam is in the Epstein list, but your favorite D lineman lobbied to have it covered up. Come on. You don't know Sourdough Sam. That's come on, Cam. That's the 49ers mascot. And he's talking about, of course, Nick Bosa being a massive Trump supporter and me being a 49ers fan. That hurt my feelings a little bit, Cam. I am offended by that. I don't think we should tolerate 49ers slander here. Tiger Lady said, MAGA won't care unless ICE shows up in drag. We told you! That's probably the only way to get MAGA to turn on ICE. If we can convince Tom Homan to put these ICE agents in dresses, we may get MAGA to be able to turn on them. Good point there. All right, here is President Lula from Brazil responding to Donald Trump. This one's been giving me problems all day trying to load it. It's been weird. This may not load. I don't know what it is with this particular video. All right. Well, I'll just tell you what he said. Basically, all he said is Trump could have called. He could have got a hold of us. Instead, he just he got pissed off and he went online and he put tariffs on us willy-nilly, which again is a tax on you. Trump being upset that Bolsonaro is being held accountable for the crimes that he definitely was involved in is the reason that you have tariffs. Here's what happened. If any of you aren't
former Brazilian President Jair.
Sorry, if any of you aren't familiar with the charges against Bolsonaro, here's 2.5 minutes to explain what he's being accused of.
Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro will stand trial for allegedly conspiring to overthrow the government after he lost an election in 2022, the Supreme Court ruled on Wednesday. A 5-judge panel decided unanimously to put Bolsonaro on trial. The court proceedings are expected later this year. If found guilty, Bolsonaro could face a long prison sentence. In his opening remarks on Wednesday, Justice Alexandre de Moraes screened dramatic footage of Bolsonaro's supporters storming government buildings. The violent scenes unfolded just a week after the inauguration of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in January 2023. Moraes said the insurrection was a result of Bolsonaro's, quote, systemic effort to discredit the election he lost and then conspire to overturn using violence, with the help of senior military officers and cabinet members. Bolsonaro, who was president from 2019 to 2022, is accused of 5 crimes, including an alleged attempt to violently abolish the democratic rule of law and a coup d'etat. He has denied any wrongdoing and denounced the case as politically motivated. Bolsonaro spoke at a press conference in Brasilia shortly after the ruling.
Today, I hope to put a final point on this. It looks like there is something personal against me. The accusation is very serious and unfounded.
Wednesday's ruling, roughly a month after Brazil's top prosecutor presented charges, reflected an extraordinary
Muted.
Oh, Alfred, I'm not a commie. I'm not a communist. I don't know what you're watching. I've specifically said I'm not communist. I'm not socialist. I'm not anything. I like mixed economies. And stores with a profit margin of 2% can't operate any cheaper than this. This is your problem, Alfred. The reason that stores can't operate with a profit margin of less than 2% is because of capitalism. If you don't need a profit, if it is a not for profit organization, then that extra 2% actually you don't have to pay out. See? Do you understand that? That's why. They don't need a profit margin because they're not for profit. And I think that's great. Why the fuck do I care if somebody makes a profit when I go to the grocery store? Why the fuck do I care about that? I've never once went in. We have Safeway, we have Bash's, we have Fry's by my house. Those are the 3 grocery stores that I go to. I have never given a flying fuck whether or not somebody made money because I went to a grocery store. I just want groceries, and I want them to be the lowest price possible. That's it. It's the only thing I want. I do not care if somebody makes a profit. I don't care about the commercials on TV. I don't need to see a Fry's commercial. Every time I see a Fry's commercial, I go, I'm going to pay more now. Every time I see a Safeway commercial, or every time I see an ad on my social media, or every time I see a billboard, I think, that's going to make my groceries more expensive. I don't give a fuck. Why the fuck do I care if a grocery store makes a profit? I would much rather have them be a not-for-profit and have my groceries be cheaper. So you're like 0 for 50 on those.
pace for a top court that often takes years to decide major cases. The speed reinforced views that the justices are keen to wrap up the trial before the 2026 presidential campaign gets underway. The court also accepted charges against 2 retired generals, Bolsonaro's former defense minister and his former chief of staff. It's the
What does that say? How do you feel about that? Like Brazil, they can get this right. Brazil, they're actually going to prosecute people. In America, we're legitimately a banana republic. Like somebody tried to overthrow our government and we just put him back in office. I only know of one other time, and it may have happened before, but the only other time I can think of where somebody tried to overthrow the government, they were prosecuted and then it just went away was Hitler when he did the beer hall putsch. And they attacked the government, and then they got thrown in jail, and then they just were like, yeah, fuck it. You guys can be in charge. It's fine. It's the only other time I remember that happening.
First time high-ranking military officials in Brazil will be put on trial for attempting to abolish democracy.
Alfred, the 2% margin that you're talking about, you dipshit, the 2% margin is the margin they have after paying employees. God damn, dude. Like, you're so obsessed with, like, proving that communism or socialism is bad that like you don't even have coherent arguments. That 2% is what we're talking about. That would make it a little bit lower. The employees still get paid. In fact, in the places that they have done this, the employees actually have good jobs. They get paid well. They have benefits. It's a job. And then you have employees who actually have a little bit of pride in where they work. And they might do a little bit better job in where they work. By the way, it was Republicans that put that together. I don't remember the name of the town. It's like 40 miles west of Jacksonville, Florida, in deep red Trump country. And those are city jobs now. Those come with retirements. That comes with benefits. And again, I would much rather go to this grocery store and know that everybody there actually has a decent job than that the CEO made $5 million. I don't give a fuck about the CEO. I want the people that work there every day to get paid. And I want my groceries to be the cheapest possible. I don't give a fuck if somebody misses out on some profit. I don't care. Like you are going out of your way to defend this great idea. Government-run grocery stores in rural areas, that's a great thing. You still, by the way, these stores that they're talking about in New York, these are places where capitalism has failed. because they don't want to operate on slim margins, and there's not enough people that live there. These massive corporations like Kroger, they don't want to open grocery stores there. And so these places that they're talking about putting in government-run grocery stores, this isn't running out Safeway. This isn't running out Kroger. This is a place where there are no grocery stores. And people have to travel too far to go get groceries. And no other store will come in and fill that void. So Zoran, and exactly what they did in Florida, they're like, their capitalism won't fill this void. For some reason, capitalism isn't doing its job. And we need food, so we'll have the government run the stores. It's because you have an ideological slant against any sort of government-run anything. So even when we see places where it works, and there are places all over this country where this has worked, you're like, no, we can't do that because socialism bad. You have the stance of a toddler. It's bad, so I'm not doing it. Okay.
Bolsonaro has insisted he will run for president again next year. That's despite...
Sound familiar to you guys? Guy tries to overthrow the government. Government puts him on trial. We'll see. Let's see how Brazil handles this. Let's see if Brazil is less of a banana republic than we are. But we are certainly a banana republic. Frankie said, you can't talk to these people, man. You can't talk to these people. Maybe. We'll see. Zero said, threatening tariffs as punishment to other countries is like threatening a neighbor. You'll spank your own child until you get the sugar that you asked for. Yeah, facts. Thanks, Bean, for joining the $5 train there. All right, let's get into the Epstein shit because we're going to run out of time. I'll fly. I do want to show, it's 10 minutes. I have this clip. Who's doing it? Is it Kim's doing the list today? Kim, number one on the Epstein stuff is something CoffeeZilla posted. It's a 10-minute video showing the change in the stories from people like Kash Patel and Dan Bajina and Donald Trump. But I want to get into polling first. Here's our favorite pollster, Harry Enton, talking about the change in poll numbers after the debacle and the nightmare that this is for the Trump administration, the way that they've handled the release of the Epstein files.
What a massive unforced...
That's true. There are rumors that Dan Bajina is considering stepping down. The rumor is, and I saw this from Laura Loomer, so I don't take it for what it's worth. I think this reporting stems from Laura Loomer. I think Laura Loomer wants Pam Bondi out, and she loves Kash Patel and Dan Bajina. But apparently Dan Bajina took the day off and is considering stepping down because of this. Again, I don't know if that's true, but that's according to Laura Loomer.
Error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search with Trump on Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans into stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. This is a story in which he's trying to get away from, basically saying, why is anyone still interested in this story? But the bottom line is people are very interested in this story to historic degrees, at least this week.
Give us some perspective. You see that 1,200 number about other stories in comparison, how people are viewing this one.
Yeah, okay. So, I mentioned tariffs earlier on, right?
It's muted. Amy said, so is Banana Republic mean Republican since they think Republic is Republican? That's right. And we're the democracy over here.
Epstein has been Googled a lot since Monday. He has actually been Googled 1.4 times as much as tariffs has been Googled. And that is, of course, a huge news story. How about Grock, which is another insane news story this week? I mean, my goodness gracious. But in fact, Epstein has been Googled 2.5 times as much as the Grock story has been Googled. So the bottom line is this is a story in which there's a lot of interest. And it's one of the few stories in which both Steve Bannon and Elon Musk are going after Trump. At least the Trump administration, he's managed to bring together two parts of the administration or two parts of the fan base that have normally been against each other.
Yeah, you can bet on anything, and this proves it. What are you seeing as far as whether or not people think that they will actually release these Epstein files?
Yeah, I know my buddy Vin from Jersey would love for the Trump administration to release more Epstein files. But get this, Trump releasing more Epstein files in 2025. This is the betting market odds. You go back 2 months ago, it was 43%. You go back even a month ago, it was 39%. But now it's just at 20%. I think that there are going to be a lot of the normally MAGA fan base who are going to be very disappointed. And this is all a self-inflicted error by Trump and the Trump administration.
Many in the administration were pushing all these conspiracy theories, promising bombshells when they got into office, and nothing.
It turns out what goes around sometimes comes around when you push conspiracy theories.
That's true.
Whoopsies. Hey, Kirsten's here. Kirsten said, I usually work on Google's end of year in search. I doubt this one will be highlighted. Is that real? Will they really just skip this one, Kirsten? Is that how it works over at Google? They'll just decide that this was too controversial. This one, they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to. Here's one of the best comedians in the world right now. Sorry if you don't like him. We can have a difference of opinion. The star of the show Tires, which is fucking unbelievable. Shane Gillis talking about Donald Trump and this debacle of the Epstein list.
That's insane that they're just being like, yeah, no, everything was cool, above board, don't
Looks
worry.
like Trump dog.
Yeah.
It's tough not to fucking point some fingers.
Huge
Because
question
he got
mark.
killed while you were president.
Yeah.
And you were there. There's so many photos of them chilling.
Allegedly hung with his staff.
I know.
Allegedly hung with his staff.
The cope on Trump's innocent. The cope is fucking pretty intense. Yeah, he did go to the island and he just hung out with the staff, dude. The staff said that.
That's like a real defense from Trump people on Twitter is that when Trump hung out, like he would go hang out with Epstein, but he would just hang out with the staff. And that like some member of Epstein's staff was like, Trump didn't even want to be there. He just hung out with us, which is a fucking bizarre thing. Like, don't go. Just don't go. Nobody dragged you.
Was the staff 12?
I know. Who knew John
So I
McAfee?
think everyone was hanging out with the staff.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The massagers. Yeah, the John McAfee was he was the one who allegedly was trying to bring it down. I don't know if that's just internet folklore. But yeah, turns out he was. It's funny to be taken down.
I want you to know that I'm not showing this because I think Shane Gillis and what's his name, Matt McCusker, not because I think that they are great political analysts. These are comedians, and their job is to like take the pulse of America. Like their job is to find the thing that America's thinking about and give you like some thoughtful commentary that's supposed to be funny. That's their job. When we're showing Shane Gillis, who you could probably argue right now is the biggest comedian in the world, has everywhere he goes, he draws a massive crowd. His podcast does massive numbers, has one of the most popular shows on Netflix. Like the reason I'm showing this is because these same people were the ones in November, October, September, August going forward. They were kind of giving Trump a soft spot, and their audiences were big Trump people. And this is part of where that energy came that got Trump elected. And all of these folks who said that, like, they thought Trump was kind of a dipshit sometimes, but they're like, I like what he's saying. They're all turning now.
Down as a pedophile by a guy who's getting shit on like a neighboring island. Just being like, this isn't right. We gotta take this down. We gotta... Yeah, dude, that shit, that was pretty, well, there's the thing, they were never going to release it. That was, like, it became apparent, like, they're not fucking, like, oh, those trillionaires.
Did you see him, somebody brought it up at a meeting, and Trump was like, are you guys still talking about Epstein? It's like, that's crazy. There's so much other stuff going on. I can't believe you're bringing up Epstein. Are you serious?
How was your throat today? Did OM give any tips? He gave just the tip.
God, get a life. You guys are obsessed with this shit. What the fuck? No one even cares. Yeah, it's so long ago. The guy killed himself and he was innocent. What the hell?
They're probably all sexual blackmailed, like sexually blackmailed. Like every single world leader probably has sexual blackmail.
All right.
That's insane that they're just being like.
Go to Andrew Schultz. Just a reminder, as Jen said earlier, we are crowdfunded. We got. I think that gift goal's wrong. I think we're closer to the gift goal than that. I'll update it here in a minute. Probably just when we go to Friendly Friday. But anything you guys could do to help knock out that gift goal would be greatly appreciated. Pink said Trump walks into a bar and lowers it. Izzy, thanks for joining the dollar train. I think I got all those ones. All right, now somebody's ahead of me because somebody said Andrew Schultz is talking about this too. If you remember, Andrew Schultz is one of those podcasts who early on he was very openly pro-Trump, and one of his forget the other guy's name. One of the other people on the Flagrant podcast was definitely not a pro-Trump person. His wife has been vocally against Trump. This is Andrew Schultz just saying, like, yeah, we got duped. Like, this isn't what I voted for. This is what I've been trying to say over and over. If you've been here, you've heard me say it. All of you Trump supporters who say, this is what I voted for, you were either lying then or you're lying now. Because Trump didn't say he was going to do any of this. Most of the stuff Trump's doing is the opposite of what he said he was going to do. And even the stuff he said he was going to do, he's doing it differently. So you were either lying then or you're lying now. And I think most of you are lying now. I think most of you are just like in it for Trump. And whatever he does is going to be correct. And so when you say, I voted for this, I'm going to need you to point me to something that, like a time when Trump said he was going to do these things. Because he said, I'm going after the violent criminals. That's what we're doing. And now here we are going after almost exclusively non-violent criminals. I think all of you are lying about that. And some of you, most of you, are bitches. Andrew Schultz has to sit in front of a microphone. And I will tell you this, as somebody who sits in front of a much smaller audience than Andrew Schultz, I will say that when you sit in front of an audience, you are oftentimes forced to be more honest than those maybe who don't, because publicly people know your opinion. So he feels that pressure, and he's going to tell you the truth. This isn't what we voted for.
I believe when Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking
know
thing.
What he's done. Yeah, exactly to your point. If you tell me, it's easier for me to believe you wanted to do all these things if any of them were happening in the way that you said they were.
To that point, like there'll be people that like they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that. I believe when Trump...
I need to stop. I need to start watching different news. I've been what news do you want me to show? I've showed Fox News today. I've showed some CNN. I'm showing these comedians. Here's Andrew again. And now they're going to go talk about the Epstein thing. Like, everybody who isn't gargling Donald Trump knows that this is a massive cover-up and that they're lying and that it's embarrassingly bad. This administration, if I was just like an average American, I would just find this embarrassing. I already found him embarrassing, but for those of you who were unaware that Trump was a illiterate moron before, and you voted for him because of the vibes, you're seeing in real time what we've been seeing for a long time. He's just an idiot. He's just a dumb guy who has money, so you think he's a smart guy. He's never been articulate. He's never made much sense. He's just a dumb guy. And he has a lot of dumb people who support him. And now, as people are watching this unfold in real time, who kind of came into politics a little bit later, like Andrew Schultz, they're like, yeah, this guy said he was going to go after all the corruption. And now when the corruption's here, they're so obviously lying that it's a bit painful.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
So we're stupid.
Yeah.
We're the fucking idiots, guys. That is, I think, what is enraging people right now is it's insulting our intelligence. Like, obviously the intelligence community is trying to cover it up. Obviously the Trump administration is trying to cover up. Something changed because they ran on this idea of exposing it all. All these guys had great ideas. Cockeyed Cash, Dan Bongino.
He had clips, dog. He had bars.
He was ready to tear it all down. He was ready to tear down the entire FBI office.
Shut down the Hoover building day one.
Day one.
That bitch still standing.
And then he goes on Joe Rogan and he's like, listen, do you think if I had it, I wouldn't share it with you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I do believe that 100%, especially when you're staring at me like this, telling me that. Once you protect pedophiles, you are the most cockeyed person in the entire world.
So one of two things, in my mind, is a pop.
They're referencing for the record. What he referenced there, let me pull it up, is Cash Patel being geeked out of his head on Joe Rogan and saying, trust me. I'll show you. I'll find a clip of it real quick. I think this is the one. Let's see. I don't think that's it. Is it this one? Yeah.
We've got footage and you're getting it. And then you can make up your own mind.
and the theories can continue. But my job.
So you became aware of this footage recently.
The ones that we're looking at, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but this is like an article from quite a while ago that was saying that the footage was mistakenly erased.
Look, I mean, it goes back to the same. Ask the people that were in power then. I mean, I get it that you want to hold me to account for their actions, and
no, I'm not saying,
not you.
I'm not saying that.
Not you. Just the public in general, and that's okay.
What's confusing to everybody today? First of all, it's very confusing because AI can kind of make anything. You know, which has got to be a bizarre position for you to be in when you're looking at videos. I mean, I've watched Viking videos; it looked real as fuck. You know, they just
you don't know what AI looks like. Joe gets caught being duped by AI like every day. Joe's just like a boomer now.
Make Viking towns. I mean, it's really quite incredible what they're doing now, and it accelerates every month. I mean, I talked to Elon about it, and he said we're blown away literally every week. Every week there's some new breakthrough. We're like, wow, we didn't expect that.
Well, I can tell you after having looked at it, this ain't going to be AI.
You don't think so?
It's just not great. You know, it's like if it were AI, like someone wanted to come in and make it, they'd make it better.
But why would you make it better when people could, you could have ambiguous footage that is, totally generated by AI. I mean, AI can generate blurry images. AI can generate night vision. AI can generate essentially anything that's already existed, like really shitty 1984 VHS tapes. They can do that.
They can. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you the tape from the tape. There's just like...
This is the part they're talking about. Now, this is cockeyed, geeked out of his mind Kash Patel. And what he's going to lean on now is, hey, trust me, bro. You think I would? I'm the FBI director. You think I would lie to you? Oh no, not the director of the FBI. Are you telling me that the director of the FBI might not be forthcoming about something? Who could believe that? Certainly not the conservatives. They trust big government.
They can do that.
They can. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you the tape from the tape. There's just like I'm giving you the documents from the vault, just like I'm giving you information to Congress on COVID origins or what have you. What we find is what you're getting.
Yeah. So the narrative has always been that there's video. Now, what is the chain of custody? Is there evidence that there is video? Is there evidence that it was moved around, stored, protected from people looking at it? Like,
you're going to get all that information. Like, that's literally what we're putting together.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Where is it? Where is it? Where's all that information, Kash? This is a month ago. We covered this then. I can always tell, by the way, when we're hitting a nerve, when the Republicans in the chat are just just hurling insults at me. This guy's just trying to scare people. I hope this isn't your day job. You suck at this. That's when I know we're striking a nerve. When they're just ignoring what's happening on the screen and hurling insults at me, that's when I know we're going to double down. So instead of stopping this video, I might slow it down. Maybe we'll watch it twice. I know we're hitting a nerve right now.
And we're going to give you every single thing we have and can. And that's the whole point.
Oh, yeah?
And so it's just stuff like that.
Since we were talking about fake news, this is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb.
Bradley, let's have a hug today. We probably don't get along most days with you being a conservative and me being a raging leftist, but I appreciate you saying that. Trump's lying, Kash is lying, Dan's lying, and I hate big government. Like, yeah, we should all be able to agree with this. This shouldn't be that hard. They're obviously not telling you the truth, and you have one of two options. You can bury your head in the sand and pretend that this administration is being honest, or you can be like Brad, and you can have totally different political ideas and just be able to call balls and strikes here.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation.
What is
between Elon
have
and
a
Trump.
nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
yeah.
Listen, well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
Yeah, they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the fuck are they doing?
First of all, he might. I mean, we gave him a lot of access. Elon had a lot of access to our files. I don't know what Elon did get and didn't get. Maybe he does. Here's the rest of this on the Andrew Schultz podcast.
Possible. One, you're covering it up. Or two, nothing really happened and you exploited the rape of thousands of children to get your man elected. So which one do you want here?
That's the real question. I always forget his name. He's always been a voice of reason on that podcast. But that's where we're at right now. You're either covering it up or you are using the abuse of children to get elected. One of those two things. It can't be both. It's one of those two things. You either knew it was a lie the whole time and you used it to get elected, which is fucking disgusting, or you're lying now. Hatred for Trump runs so deep it makes people say and do stupid shit. Look at them. They're spiraling. They're spiraling today. All these people hate. These guys loved Trump like 12 minutes ago. They brought all these Trump adjacent folks on. They campaigned for Trump. They did everything to get this guy elected. Now you're like, oh, they just got Trump derangement syndrome. Maybe, or maybe it's you. This is somebody brought this up the other day. I don't remember if we covered it, but on here's fucking Cuomo. He's got Liz or Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, on the phone here. And I've looked into this. I don't know. I'm not somebody who is an expert in any of this. I've heard what Mark Epstein has to say now. Unfortunately, I've seen diagrams. I will say that it is suspicious that I forget is it the tracheal bone or something that was broken. It's suspicious. It doesn't line up. Maybe there's an answer for it, and I don't know. And there's probably somebody here that has an answer for it if there is one. So I'm not trying to say that I know, but based on what I've seen, it makes it just I can't show it. I can't show you why it makes sense. But if you're interested in this, no, you may see some graphic like drawings. But if you want to look up like why that bone shouldn't have broke, go ahead and look it up. We just can't show it on this on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok, or we get banned immediately.
Suggestion, it's not about that. But Mark, you do not believe what the Trump administration is putting out about your brother now. Why?
Well, every time they say something or do something to try to quash the fact that he was most likely murdered, they just put their foot further down their mouth. I mean, for instance, Patel in the congressional hearing, he listed his credentials as a prosecutor and other such things, and he said that it was a suicide. He said, a suicide when you see it. That's basically what he said. So the questions that popped into my mind was, first of all, number one, how many suicides has he seen? Number one. Two, is he a forensic pathologist? Does he have a medical degree? Does he have a certificate that he passed the CPR course? Does he have a Boy Scout merit badge for first aid? What is he basing his expertise on? Contrast that to Dr. Roman, who was a city pathologist who did the autopsy. She came out of the autopsy and said she couldn't call it a suicide because...
Someone asked why didn't Biden release the Epstein files. I think that's a fair question. And no matter what I say here, it's speculation. So let's be very clear about that. If I had to speculate, I think that there's really I think that there's two reasons why Biden didn't release the Epstein files. I think the first is that there's no list. That's possible. And the second is that it implicates Israel, or it jeopardizes some CIA activities. I don't look. Joe Biden was as owned by Israel as any of our other presidents. He was deathly loyal to Israel to a fault. I don't know why. I don't know why Biden didn't release them. I know there wasn't a huge call for it. Historically, this has been like something that Republicans were more interested in than Democrats. And I think a lot of that had to do with just, it seemed to me, at least I can only speak for me, I guess, but it seemed to me during the Epstein stuff, there were a couple reasons why I didn't ever get super into it. One, most of it seemed to come from QAnon. And a lot of it, especially early on, was Trump's going to come in, he's going to be president, he's going to release the Epstein list, and they're going to send Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Oprah, Bill Gates, the entire cast of The View, whoever it was, whatever Democrat you didn't like, they were going to be on the list and they were going to be publicly executed. That was like the story. So it was the way the story was presented was just so insane. And frankly, I've said it here many times. I've never really believed that there was a list. I think it just doesn't make sense that there's a list. If these people are like working in cahoots with each other, the idea that there's a list in some black book or some Google Doc or whatever, I never believed that there was a list. If there was one, I wouldn't be shocked, but it never made sense to me that there would be a list. But I do believe that presidents, politicians are compromised. I do believe that a lot of times politicians. I think we've learned a lot from this G side in Palestine. Is that if I've learned anything, I've learned that holy fucking shit, our politicians are lazy, and they just take what they're told and then they go out and they repeat it. I think that most of our politicians aren't really thinking for themselves. I think they have a staff, and the staff basically scripts out what they're going to do, and they go out and they say it. The amount of times that I've seen people go out on the floor of Congress, especially Republicans, in the last couple of years, well, they'll show up to Congress and they'll show like a screen grab of a tweet that is fake or a picture that is fake. Byron Donalds recently had one of those where he literally put out text messages and they were edited, and AOC was like, hey, those are edited, and she had to pull up the original. I think that there's I think that this cover up likely, I don't want to say it's like above the heads of Biden, but like kind of like it's in the peripheral. And I don't think that we ask for a lot of transparency from the CIA. I don't think we ask for a lot of transparency from the FBI or the Pentagon. We kind of just allow them to tell us all the time, you don't need to know that. It's a national security thing. So yeah, I think that's probably why Biden didn't release it. If we ever get a list and Biden's on the list, then I guess then we'll know. That's probably why he didn't release it. But if I had to guess, just based on proximity and the lack of connection between Joe Biden and Jeffrey Epstein, I would say that it probably has a lot more to do with the CIA than anything. But again, that's just a guess. If you guys have better guesses, I'm open.
Looked too much like a homicide. Dr. Michael Barton, who was there on my behalf, who witnessed the autopsy, also concurred that it looked more like a homicide than a suicide. Now, was Cash Patel?
No, don't trick. The text that they had, the fake text had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. What I was saying with the fake text is that I think that it would be really easy for like, let's say Byron Donalds, for example. I think it's very easy for somebody to get a message to Byron Donalds that he will go out and repeat without fact checking it. So, for example, Byron Donalds could be somebody who his staff would just go out and tell a lie about Jeffrey Epstein, and he would go out there and he would just repeat that lie because I think that he's lazy. That was the point. Maxwell's crime is trafficking, Courtney. She trafficked a bunch of underage girls to Jeffrey Epstein. That's what she's charged with. She's charged with trafficking. There were no that in that trial specifically, her attorneys filed a motion to not include her black book, and that was because the only crimes she was accused of were the crimes involving Jeffrey Epstein. So I think if Maxwell, if we had a list, Maxwell would likely be charged with other crimes. But the crimes so far that she has been charged with, you can go look this up. They all had to do with Epstein and her trafficking girls to Epstein. But that's what I was trying to say. I just think there's a lot of people in our government on both sides who just show up and repeat what they were told to repeat. I think I think Israel has exposed all of that. The people now that are still saying like we support Israel, it's clear. It's never been more clear that they are bought and paid for by AIPAC, and that they will go out there and they will just toe the line and say what they need to say. Let's finish there with Epstein's brother. All right. I don't know. This isn't a partisan thing. I do think it's weird that we're still having like disagreement in the chat, and I think maybe some of you Republicans don't understand what I'm saying. Like, Epstein definitely trafficked children. And Epstein, at the very least, we know he trafficked children to Prince Andrew. So we know that he was involved with other people. There's a lot of evidence that he was involved with Donald Trump. I just think that there's obviously some sort of cover-up happening. And I hope we find out at some point. I hope they tell us at some point. Here's Alan Dershowitz, who was the attorney for Jeffrey Epstein, who himself has been accused of abusing children. I don't think he's a terrific source. But the people on the right seem to really like Alan Dershowitz. They bring him on the Sean Spicer show. They bring him on Fox News all the time to defend Donald Trump. He has been a star witness for Donald Trump. Here's what he had to say on the Sean Spicer show. If you don't know Sean Spicer, he used to be Trump's spokesperson.
Let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. and they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them, but they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction.
I think this is why this isn't going away. It's across the board. The people involved with Epstein are saying there was a list. His brother is saying that this is a cover-up. The people that are in our government right now who have been saying for years that this is a cover-up, now apparently thinking about quitting the government. People like Dan Bongino. I mean, everybody. This isn't going to go away. And I think it was a massive, massive misstep by Trump to say, you guys still talking about this? You all know that you care about this. I've seen the stuff with Cash's girlfriend, Doreen. I don't know. Here's the story on Cash Patel's girlfriend. There's an accusation that Cash Patel's girlfriend is being used as a honeypot. If you don't know what a honeypot is, that's something that the Russians, the Israelis, foreign governments, and we do too. You use somebody attractive as a way to gain influence over somebody. Her story is a little interesting. I think she grew up in the UK, was it UK and Sweden or something like that? Then they moved to Nashville, and she became a country music singer. She's also was on the payroll of PragerU. There's no question that PragerU is funded by Israel. And so there's just an accusation that Cash Patel's girlfriend, who is 20 years younger than him, is a honeypot. That's the rumor. I don't have it. There's no confirmation there, but that's what they're saying. So we'll see. It is interesting that Cash went from I know what's on these in these documents. You're going to be shocked to there's nothing in these documents, and this is all legit, and there's no cover up. It is interesting. Johnny Longtrail is laughing at me for being muted. I love you, Johnny. Weston said, drink some water and say something nice about yourself. Jen Star sending for the gift goal with love. I think we almost got that gift goal knocked out. We got about 10 more minutes, so we'll go. Let's see if we can knock that out. Listen, I promise you. All right, this is for the regulars. I promise you that if you knock out that gift goal, I'm going to play some videos during Friendly Friday that you will be devastated you don't see if we don't knock out that gift goal. I promise you it's worth every bit of it. I'm not going to look at the gift goal until we start Friendly Friday, which we're going to do at 12:05. Jen, cut in at 12:05. You got 10 minutes. If we knock out the gift goal, I'm going to show you some videos that you're absolutely going to love. If we don't, we don't. They're hysterical. I don't know if Jen will like them very much. That's a little tease. I'm not sure how much Jen is going to like that I showed these videos, but they're there and they're ready to be shown. Let's see if we knock that out. All right. Here's Steve Bannon. I agree with Steve Bannon. God damn, it's getting frustrating how often I have to agree with Steve Bannon. Felice used to say this all the time. Actually, Felice used to always say that you should not think that Steve Bannon is dumb, because Steve Bannon is brilliant, and he is. When it comes to like the game of politics, when it comes to the game of political science, like he might be the best of the best. And so don't discount Steve Bannon, disagree with him, but you can't discount his ability to take the pulse. And here's him standing with Jack Pussabitch, and I don't know who this is over here. I don't know who she is.
The only solution for Epstein right now, and you had Dershowitz in our cold open, who happens to be Epstein's lawyer and says there is a list. There's only one solution, and I'll throw it out to my colleagues in Berquam and Jane when we get back. You must appoint a special prosecutor immediately. That special prosecutor, right?
Who wants a special prosecutor on Epstein?
You have to do it. You have to do it. DOJ and FBI love those guys, but they can't, no possibility they can do it.
I don't know where they're at. Everybody cheering seems to have a lanyard on. They must be at some event. Not a huge response, but I agree with him. Just appoint a special prosecutor. This is what you did when you guys wanted to know about how Joe Biden handled the classified documents. They hired a special prosecutor. They hired her. You have to hire somebody who is and they can't be like an anti-Trumper. They can't be somebody who has been on the record of like criticizing Trump. You're gonna have to go somebody that at the very least has looked nonpartisan. But yeah, hire a special prosecutor right now and investigate it and give the American people the truth. Is that unfair? I know that Republicans are hesitant to be investigated because they haven't gone well. But that's what we got to do. Top viewers right now on TikTok, by the way. Thank you, Joyful Peer. God coming in second, rising up the ranks. Shrugs, Shane Saw, and Jessica Beans. And 125,000 likes over there on TikTok. 5 more minutes, we'll close this thing out. All right. This I think this is the last one we'll go before we'll go. Make sure this is the right one. This is, I don't know who this, Fugelslong, which is an incredible name. He was on CNN on this little panel show that they do every night with Scott. What's Scott's last name? Scott. Jennings. And I just thought this was interesting. I think that this is the feeling of a lot of Republicans right now. Not the ones that are here, but I think a lot of Republicans are feeling the same way here. That this is not the Republican Party that they used to support. This is not the Republican Party that they grew up in. I grew up in the Republican Party. 30 years of my life was spent in the Republican Party, not as a bystander, not as somebody who just voted sometimes. Like I worked for the Republican Party, and I believed in the Republican Party. I was proud of the Republican Party. I'm not proud of that pride now, but at the time I was proud. I could just unequivocally say this, that the party is completely different than the party I grew up with. Like we used to be a party that thought amnesty might be a good idea. The George H.W. Bush compassionate conservative movement, that was something that you could be proud of, where you say we are a nation of laws, but we should have compassion, we should have empathy. This party, this version of Republicans, empathy is a bad word to them. Empathy is a negative. There is no empathy. It is strict rule of law, rule by force. Ironically, in that debate with Andrew tonight, like that is his ideology, that we should rule by force. And I just wanted to play this on the way out. For any of you Republicans out there who don't recognize your party, you don't have to join us, but help us fix your party. You guys, you that are still Republican, you can fix your party. I think that it's important, if we're going to have a two-party system, to have a sane party in opposition to the side that I want. And Democrats have a lot to fix too. But Republicans, you got to get this cancer out. You have the dumbest, most hateful people running your party. It's the white nationalists at the top. It's the racists. It's the xenophobes. It's the homophobes. It's the anti-LGBTQ. It's all of you. I saw somebody in here earlier say, like, I'll no matter what happens, I'm still going to vote for the party that doesn't believe in gay rights. Yeah, that's who's running your party. Get them the fuck out. If you guys don't want to stop being called racist, you don't want people to accuse you of being racist, you don't want to hear people saying that you're xenophobic, get the racist, xenophobic people out of leadership.
Your former boss, Mitch McConnell. Do you think he's respected him?
Respect to him?
Yeah.
Not always, no.
If we asked you to find one day since his inauguration that he has not lied to you and your family, do you think you could do it? One day he's spoken publicly? Because he can't stop lying, Scott. And I do think the party's changed quite a bit. The Republican Party I grew up with.
It's a great fucking question. Could you think of a single day since he took office that he spoke publicly where he didn't lie to you? I don't think you could find that. That's such a good question. I think everybody here, pick a day. Pick a date. What day did he not lie? That's pretty tough. 6 months in, I dare you to find me a day that Trump publicly spoke where he didn't lie.
Would not delight in beating cops for a lie and then pardoning the people who beat the cops. I don't know what conservatism means anymore. This gentleman is the perfect person to speak to what Mike Pence is going through, because what does it mean? It doesn't mean family values, doesn't mean the Christian values, fiscal responsibility.
Again, we don't live in a theocracy. We live in a nation of laws, and we live in a nation of policy choices. Our policy choices today are basically the same as Republican policy choices, with the exception of tariffs, which I acknowledge. But this president, has done a lot of conservative stuff that people have always wanted.
You've said two things a few times on the show. One about not living in a theocracy, which you're right. But it is also true, and I think this is John's point, that for many, many decades, the Republican Party, and even under Trump, says explicitly, we are a Judeo-Christian society. He claims to his supporters that his faith is important, that it's the most important thing in American society. He says that. Yeah. That the Bible should be taught in schools, that he is selling a Bible with his name on it. So there's that. But then secondly, the party of George W. Bush, of compassionate conservatism, of immigration reform, that party is also gone too. Well, right?
Yeah. That's the point. Like, it's kind of close, but it's the Republicans of old and leaning into the cruelty. That's the part that I'm going to oppose your Republican ideas probably regardless, because I don't think most conservative ideas are good ideas. I think that they are tried and failed ideas. I think your economic policy is fucking stupid. I think that, and in fact, that's mostly it. And I think that fighting these culture wars is stupid. I think that you focus way too much on how people think, how people feel, how people act in ways that don't affect you. I think you become obsessed with that. So I'm probably going to oppose it anyways. But I wish the pride from you folks was still around. I wish that it mattered to you whether or not you did things the right way. I wish that it mattered to you that you do things you call yourselves Christians often, and then you do things the exact opposite way you would expect the Jesus of the Bible to act. And I think that you guys all want to be empathetic. I don't think that you want to have to defend this. I think you're forced to defend an obviously morally bankrupt man who makes all the decisions for your party. And you have two options. You can either continue to be cucks and let this hateful, spiteful man run your party, or you can start standing up and say, you know what, we can do better. We can do better than this. We're not out here burning flags. Yeah, Ryan, that's the problem. It's good to see you, by the way. What a fucking dumb thing to say. At least we're not burning flags. Who the fuck cares? It's a piece of cloth. That's the problem with you guys. You only care about what other people are doing. Who the fuck cares about burning a flag? Why do you even care about that? Ryan, why? But also, don't talk to me about how's your guys' live going? Is Justin done crying about being used by that girl for 3 straight months? Is he still hosting live? You guys still hosting lives every day to bash that girl who played Justin? This is dumb. The Bible is just a book. All right, we're ready for Friendly Friday. Good to see you, Ryan. Let me read some comments. We'll get going. Bernadette said, happy Friday. Big hugs to you and Jen. Jeffrey said, special prosecutor won't do anything. No, I think they give us, the special prosecutor can give us information. And then it's more about, like, will Congress do anything? The special prosecutor just makes recommendations. But so if that's what you meant, like, they probably can't do anything. Steven said, it's Johnstone. The human hand holds 27 bones in it, but when I'm lonely, it holds 28. Trudy said, make Jen proud. Tanya takes pics, said, I got a small bonus at work today, so I'm sharing the wealth. Solly said, I want to see Jen's videos. Purple Kitty said, deal, you'll do great tonight. Thank you. Chris said, I love it when you tease. Thank you. Jen, you guys, if you're in the Discord, if you want to start lining up for Friendly Friday, we'll get there. Adam said, the same people that decry socialism are the same ones asking why we're always sending money to other countries instead of helping people at home. Newsflash, Republicans never vote for people who want to help people at home because you call it socialism. Bunch of clown shoe motherfuckers. All right. Rebecca said, here's for the videos. Swish said, you had me at secret videos. Brandy says, let's see the videos. Daryl says, $5 train. Walter said, for the gift goal. Alex said, I refuse to allow you to blue ball us. And Lindsay says, don't threaten me with a good time. Well, the good time is here. You guys wiped out that gift goal. Thank you so much. Jen, are you here? Watch Jen just not show up for
all day.
All right. Did you drag me into that other one?
What? Sorry, what'd you say?
Did you drag me into the other chat?
I will drag us there in just a second.
All right. You have anything to say before we go there?
I already have a pretty strong idea of what it is. Which I'm fine with. So.
We've got a new subscriber.
Okay. Well, let's head on over there. All right. What do we want to do? We want to play the videos now, Jen?
Whatever you want to do is fine with me. I don't care.
All right. Let me see which is which. Download these one by one.
Yeah, how do the people in here see them?
I can share the people in there. I can share my screen. Let's see which one this is. Wish they were named. We're just going to show some highlights from Jen. Where's the VC? Where did it go?
We've got a new subscriber.
Thank you. Welcome, new subscribers. All right, I have to click on this, and then I share my screen. And we're going to do this one. All right, I think there we go.
Yeah, he's your daddy, and he lives rent free in your head too.
If I call anyone daddy, it definitely wouldn't be him. So
just know in like 3.5 years.
Jen, who would you call daddy?
You're not sharing it in Discord.
It's not out. It's not there.
No.
What's the screen share look like?
No, it's here.
No, it's there.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Jen, the people just wanted to know. What does this mean?
Yeah, he's your daddy, and he lives rent free in your head too.
I can't. If I call anyone daddy, it definitely wouldn't be him. So.
On the video, you said if I called anybody daddy, it definitely wouldn't be him.
Definitely wouldn't be Trump.
But it just is there anybody that you would call daddy?
Depending, possibly.
Okay. Just checking. Why can't I scroll up now? Can I not scroll when I'm sharing a screen? This is weird. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can get the right one. Make sure it's the right one. All right. I think this is the one. This one is not necessarily about you, but if any of you have been on this live before, but Jen, are we co-hosting on this live now? What's the plan? You can do this again?
I may go back.
Okay. I think this was my favorite moment. Many of you may know Pops. He's debated me on Admir's panel before. He's not a fan of me. We've all just agreed to let him say that he dog walked me. And he was asked a question that I think Jen's face tells the story about.
Love that for you.
So who's down to go to Chippendales?
Oh, this isn't it.
No, that'd be you, Jen. And
No, that was that's not it. Son of a bitch, where is this one? One more try.
Thanks for the sub.
Oh, I think this is it.
Rotisserie chicken is the third person. It's crazy.
damn, that was fucked
bullshit.
up.
That's bullshit.
Oh, there's that sexy man of him. Look at that mustache.
Yeah, let's see that hat, Paul.
That's not it either. Damn it. Sorry, this reveal is going worse than I thought it was going to. Is it this one? All right, guys.
Tricky question because
This is the one I wanted to know. All right. This is going to be Pops. This is the host, Amanda. Going to ask Pops a question. I just want you to...
Are you still sharing it, or am I just not seeing it?
Everybody seems to be seeing it except for you, right? Everybody that's
Anyone
here, are
else?
you guys all seeing it? Or can you not see it
In
anymore?
DC?
No, you
I don't
stopped
see it.
streaming it.
No, yeah, you closed it out. It's
Stopped
not there
streaming
anymore.
it,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm watching it on a
All
different
right, here it
device.
is. Now can you guys see it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
tricky question because I've never let nobody ever peg me, but Amanda's my internet crush, so whatever.
I mean, it's first time for everything.
Exactly. Just go to the left, bro. Just go to the left.
All I can give you is just some friendly advice. Just relax. Don't try to cling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah.
So the problem is that's why I said
it makes it worse.
question because I don't know that I could let her. Man,
That was left when the host asked Pops if Pops would let her peg him, and Jen was giving some good advice with Admir there. There you go, Jen.
I mean, it's first time for everything. It's not like I say all the things. It's not like I'm shy.
Yeah.
So
When is the next time you're gonna go host a live?
I don't know. We haven't set up a schedule or anything, but
Okay.
I can make appearances here and there.
All right. Well, we've got a full box. I assume everybody's here to talk to you. Who's first?
We've got illusions first.
Illusions.
What's up? Hey, I need some lessons in pegging. Can we continue these lessons like continuously, maybe like once a week in a public forum?
We already get banned a lot on TikTok, so we probably can't.
Well,
do
we've
it
got
there.
YouTube and Twitch allows all that freaky deaky shit. So
I mean,
is that
I
where we're
haven't done
going
any
from here?
pegging myself. We might have to bring Admir in. It seemed like Admir
Okay.
was the expert in that.
He said just
yeah.
relax. He was very good. He could be your co-host, right?
I mean, I can, insult people if that's their thing, but I personally haven't done it. We would have to probably bring in the subject matter expert with Admir. So
And is there an upcharge for like humiliation interactions?
I mean, I need to like vet out my pricing schedule. I'm not going to say no. So
Okay, all right. Well, as soon as you put that out, please send out a notification.
yeah, I'll get my price sheet together.
I know some people, That's all. Anyway, Jay, you're still here. Jeez.
I'm still here. I love this so much.
What's funny
have a
is
great
I'm not
weekend.
embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed like Jay does.
I'm
This
so
doesn't
happy.
bother me.
I'm so happy. This is my favorite day.
Well, please lean in on this experience. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
All right, catch you guys
All right,
later.
brother. See you. All right, who's next?
Swish.
Hey, Switch.
Happy Friday, friendly fam, double daddy, sister wife 69 reporting for duty.
Good to have you here.
It's been a couple. It's always good to see you guys. I have a few things because it's been a couple weeks. Number one, I guessed right today, beige hat, so I'm going to be playing the lotto. Also, just for your
It
own
is
little
gray.
library.
It's actually
this-
gray. It's so gray. It's
You,
just the
I will
filter.
be playing my.
Let me
I will
see.
play the lotto anyway. I don't
Okay.
care. You hush. So I was going to say this is my favorite color combination you're wearing today.
Thank you.
So that was also very pleasing to the eyeballs. Thank you very much. Admir, I'm going to tell you something right now, and I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to stop clicking on him, number one, because I go into these awful, hideous lives that he's up on the panel, like fighting these MAGA left and right. And I was getting so mad and offended for him yesterday that I had to fucking leave, and I messaged him and I was like, don't let them talk to you like that. You stand your ground. I was getting so heated about it. And he was like, it's okay. I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. I'm like, fine, whatever. But I'm still going to get offended for him because I really like Admir now. And I
Yeah,
didn't before.
I do too.
So
I've always
that's
liked him.
I know. So, okay, a couple things. I've been doing a lot of gaming on my other account. And so a bunch of people that come in the morning, they are regulars here in your chat. And so every now and then we talk about you. And my game was glitching and I was like, bitch. And somebody else goes, little bitch. And I was like, oh, glitchy little bitch. So now we're going to make a sticker based on your silly little bitch, but it's going to say glitchy little bitch. So that's coming to my stream. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, I don't know what you're doing this weekend. I have a lot of schoolwork to do. I'm in a math class, which I absolutely hate. And oddly enough, I thought this was weird, but we're reading a book about anti-gravity, and it is impossible to put it down. So.
Yes. I love that. Well done.
Oh, all right. I love you, Jen. It was great to see you in the wild. And I will head back to the chat. And hello, Russell. I love you so much. That's
Thanks,
it.
Swish.
Goodbye.
See ya.
I love you.
Right.
Goodbye.
I didn't necessarily keep an order, so I'm just gonna start where I'm seeing. So, Eric.
Well, I love you guys. It's cool to see you guys again. And I wasn't going to miss this for the world. I didn't really have much to say. I just wasn't going to miss this. I wanted to see what everybody had to say to you, Jen.
What do you have to say?
I mean,
for
they
yourself,
really
Jen?
try to say whatever. Nothing's going to necessarily embarrass me. I said what I said.
Do you
I mean, obviously, I think what's funny is watching Jay get embarrassed instead.
Right? Right? He's embarrassed. I'm not. So.
What were you gonna say, Jay?
No, nothing. I have nothing to say. I was so happy to just watch everybody objectify Jen instead of me. It was so wonderful.
And I should have paid for you.
Yeah, and I was embarrassed. Like I was watching it with a red face, and Jen was just fine, and I was just sitting here embarrassed because I'm a child. So I don't know, but I loved every second of it.
Well, that's what it's like to be a woman. I mean, this isn't unusual. So.
That's probably true.
I was just gonna say, that makes sense. Yep. Sadly. But you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
You too, Eric. We'll see you.
Bye, Eric. African.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, man? You melting?
Yeah, the crazy thing is I had one side of my house had the air conditioning broken for the past 3 days. So that was that was lovely, living without air conditioning when it's 115, 117 degrees outside.
Bro, SRP's on some bullshit. SRP just like started turning off my air conditioner in the middle of the day. They're like, 80's your temperature now. And they just did it. And I'm on solar during the day. Like I'm not using SRP during the day. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm like, why is it hot in here? And they just have something they can like send it out and it turns your air conditioner down. That's crazy.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. But anyway, I got it fixed this morning. It's my birthday today, so I got my air conditioning fixed first. Thank you, man. Clips you were playing about
65, you said?
65, my birthday?
Yeah, this is the 65th
I thought it was
birthday?
74.
No. The big 4-4. The big 4-4.
Okay.
So I'm getting up there, man. I'm getting up there. But yeah, all these MAGAs that are now surprised that Trump lied to them. I don't understand why this is a surprise to them. We did have him during the first administration, correct? Like we do have a track record.
Yeah.
And even before he was in political office, why are you so surprised he's lying about the Epstein thing at this point in time? I just don't. It's something I don't get. And then I just want to give you credit for always. I've seen you going around other lives. I think the day the big beautiful bill was passed, you were debating some blagas, some black MAGAs, and I went in there and threw you some love. So
thanks,
this
brother.
dude Kenneth, I think, was annoying the fuck out of me, and I don't know how you were dealing with him.
He hates me. That's the first time I met Kenneth. He just kept coming on every once in a while. Like, I fucking hate this guy. That's all he said.
I know, I heard it. So I had to give you some love and make sure
Thanks,
that you
brother.
had more coins than him.
I
But
appreciate
keep
that.
doing what you're doing, man. Great show. And Jen, see you later. You're doing a great job.
You going live later?
Yeah, I'll be live, but it's my birthday, so I'm just chilling kind of today.
All right, guys, go show African Knight some love over on TikTok for his birthday. Hang out with him.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
See you, bud.
Love you, Swish, by the way. Love you too, Swish.
Who's next?
All right, we'll go Banksy. I was saying that wrong.
Did you say Banksy?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
Banksy.
it's correct, but
Your
no
mic is
idea what you
muted. I don't
guys
know
are
if you know
doing.
that. Is she? Hold on.
I can hear.
Oh, it's on my end. It was muted. Okay,
Oh.
sorry.
No, I was just saying that you pronounced it right, but I have no idea what you guys are doing. I just joined the call.
Well, I think Jay's goal was to try to embarrass me in some roundabout way, and it's not working. So, I think that's what he's trying to do. Once again, he's not. It's not working, but.
Well, you're welcome to stay, Banksia. You got any jokes or words of advice?
Not really.
All right.
Unfortunately.
All right. Well,
Nothing on a price list that I should come up with or anything like that.
No idea.
Okay. just I mean, if there's anyone who has any recommendations, that works.
Yeah, please.
Thanks for coming on. Jedi.
Heyo.
Hey.
Hey, I'm on my way to go see what they call super woke.
Superman. Is that what?
Yeah, that's what the right calls it, super woke. Because I think James Gunn said he's an immigrant. I don't know, and they freaked out because he said that.
Yeah.
I just had two quick things I wanted. You might have spoke about this and I missed it, but did you see the video of Epstein's niece coming out saying, "I'm not"? She actually posted a public video saying, "I do not wish to unalive myself. If I am found unalived, it was somebody. It was not me." Like for trying to protect herself.
I haven't seen that. If you
it's on
send
YouTube.
it to me,
yeah. And this is an honest question. Have you ever? You probably have. Have you ever thought of running for like public office or?
Yeah, I have. I've thought of it. I really don't want to. I don't think.
No.
I also say like a lot of. I just say a lot of stuff. I live in Arizona. If I was running, I would be running in like a Republican district, and I'm not moderate enough to do well there. But I don't know. I don't think that's something I would really want to do is run for office.
Okay.
Well, that it might backfire since he got his Venmo banned for reading dirty jokes.
Yeah,
so.
They might leak my Venmo comments, and then I'm fucked. Yeah.
And I was listening when you were destroying. I think the guy that sounded like Mike Tyson, Kenneth. Oh yeah, that guy. He was unbearable. That guy, and he thought he was like winning, which blew my mind.
It was wild. Yeah, he's an interesting.
Well, yeah, love the show. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
I'll keep listening.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
We'll see it.
All right, JTS.
Hey.
JT.
Team Huda still. I don't know. I'm not caught up on Love Island. I wasn't Team Huda. She's crazy. She's my favorite person to watch, but I think people are softening on Huda, so I need to catch up. I don't know what happened. Apparently, I sold somebody I thought she was crazy, and they're like, "No, she's good." So apparently, she's good now. I don't know.
All right, JTS.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right, cool. My thing was all stuck. Hey, guys, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
You know, chilling on this very hot day. Probably not as hot as you, but
I think he's talking to you, Jen.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
I'm
it
getting
is warm
married.
where I am. It's not Arizona warm, but yeah, it's warm.
Yeah. I deliver for a living, and I've driven across this house that has a bunch of vans outside. Should I be worried?
Get them out of your neighborhood.
Genuinely
What are the
curious.
zoning laws like in that neighborhood?
I don't know, but I'm calling Bezos on them. This is getting ridiculous.
Get them out of here. Call ICE immediately.
Oh, this is pissing me off. I tell you what. Genuine question. I know this is probably a little premature since Trump has only been on office for feels like 10 years, but a few months here. When all said and done at the end of his term, what do you think is going to be the biggest thing to come out of like the biggest story that's going to come up out against him when a new administration comes in?
I don't know.
That's
That's a
kind
good
of a weird
question. I haven't thought about that. I don't know. The thing is like we did this the first administration. It doesn't fucking matter what comes out. Like he really is.
Yeah.
He's untouchable. I think the only story that potentially could come out. I think that there's obviously forces behind the scenes that have a lot of money invested in JD Vance. And JD Vance going from never Trump to everything Trump does is gold is really fucking bizarre. I have a lot of concerns about JD Vance and the people behind JD Vance. I have a lot of concerns about Peter Thiel, and I just hope Republicans see JD Vance for what he is, which is an absolute cuck to a legitimate like billionaire cult where they want to live out their sci-fi fantasies without democracy. That's honestly my biggest concern. I'm at the point now with Trump where I know he's going to do a lot of awful things, and I know that there's going to be a lot of shit that we have to clean up, but he's a fucking idiot. And I almost like take solace in that, knowing that he can't accomplish a lot. But JD Vance makes me far more nervous, and the people backing him make me incredibly nervous. And so hopefully that comes out and we don't make that mistake.
Yeah, he's very coherent, and that's what scares me the most. So, yeah. That's all.
Yep. All right, brother.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Guys.
We'll see you.
You as well, bud. All right.
All right. Kirsten.
Hey.
How's it going? Oh, thank you so much for fixing that error that I put in. I know it's not a good look to misspell something by calling a president illiterate at the same time, but I just want to say thank you for fixing that for me. And then also, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Also, what is your thoughts of someone that's intellectually disabled but wants to run for office?
Could you be more specific? What are you at? Like, do I think like how they would run? Like how to be more effective running? Or I'm not sure what question you're asking.
Like if they want to run at all. Do you think that that's something they shouldn't do because they're intellectually disabled and they should just have someone else?
I don't know. I think you'd have to be more specific. I think that that can mean a lot of things, right?
For example, someone like me, I'm intellectually disabled. Like I'm technically borderline MR, so I'm on the edge of.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what MR means. I'm sorry.
Okay. The long word is intellectual borderline functioning. It's basically borderline mentally retarded. That's what I am.
I don't think.
And that's,
I don't even know what that means.
Look, you don't know what mentally retarded means?
This is bizarre. I just think that you should ask this question to somebody else. I don't think this is a question for me. And I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I watched you for about 4 hours try and get up on a panel the other day, and this.
I'm so sorry. I was.
Yeah, this is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it just feels weird to me. It feels, and I'm sorry if I'm being disrespectful. It feels like this is like a stunt.
Oh no! I have an IQ of 72. So I took years of speech class. I have an IEP. The reason why I probably was asking you because I don't know if that's a good idea for me to do because I'm not that great with always being able to speak well. And the reason why I was trying, which panel were you trying to watch me on? Because I was learning how to use TikTok for the first time the other time. And is it about the debate one?
I don't know, but either way, I just think that you should probably I just don't think I'm the right person to ask this question to. I think I don't have any understanding of any of these issues. I think you should probably talk to somebody who has a better understanding of this.
I understand the education system and everything. So I have experience personally. It's just there's no one fighting for people like us.
I think what I'm going to say is that I think this would probably be something that you'd want to probably discuss with a doctor or medical professional and see if they see any limitations that you might have with it. That's what I think would make the most sense. If you have concerns like that, I think you should speak with your medical professional first, and then go from there.
Oh, okay. So should I? Okay, yep, I understand.
That's
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry,
it's
just not my expertise.
Okay,
right.
and I just want to let you know, it's like I'm not trying to do a stunt or anything.
Look,
It's just that I don't know.
I think that the problem is that it's an incredibly outdated way to say mentally retarded, and so that's the part that I think gives me pause. Not to accuse you of anything, but there are people that are on these apps that will come in specifically to try and do a stunt using outdated terminology. So that's the part that gave me pause. But no disrespect, and if you didn't mean it, you didn't mean it. But I'm still not the right person to ask this question to.
Well, sorry for interrupting you. The actual term it's hard to say, and I always mess it up. It's not MR. It's intellectual borderline functioning. That's the term that replaces MR.
Sure.
So that's the term, but I have a hard time saying it because I'm intellectual borderline functioning because I have a low IQ. So that's why I use the MR term.
Yeah, I just said like Jen said, she gave you good advice.
Yeah.
I'm not the person.
I think start with there, and I don't mean to cut you off, but we have a lot of people, and we try to keep it like 2
I
minutes per
understand.
person.
I'm gonna hang up now. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Okay.
No, you're
No,
welcome
you're
here
good.
anytime.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh.
All
right. Cam.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
What's going on?
Fuck you.
What?
You know what? You deserve that. You deserve
no,
that.
actually wasn't. Oh, okay. I might. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Thanks.
Hey, you're the one covering up for. You're the one trying to cover up with the ghost, aren't you?
Don't even start with me.
We're just trying to keep Sourdough Sam from facing justice, huh?
I'm pro trading Bosa. I just don't have any sway with the organization.
So I missed all the. I just got back in. I just dropped off a client and stuff. So I didn't catch any of the other Friendly Fridays. But I'm assuming we're talking about the other night a lot.
Yeah, we were talking about Jen and Jen giving out pegging advice and.
I didn't give out pegging advice.
Suggestions. Sorry.
No, I just said if they were, if that was their thing, go for it. I mean, I don't want to, king shame necessarily.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just, I know we were all acting very, responsible and cordial that night in the Discord.
Yeah.
I think thirsty is the term you're looking for.
I think it was cordial. I don't know what you're talking about. Just,
So I've got 2 brother husbands now. How many? It looks like I've got 2.
Oh yeah, I was the first one. So I had Charles is the second one, and we're I'm kicking Chris out. I'm kicking.
Okay. It's brave of you guys to want to take me on in marriage. It hasn't gone well for men in the past, but it's brave for you. So.
Yeah, no, I want to busy too. I was trying to comment the other night, but like the lotion on the hands, it was just.
That's
watching live.
That's awful. But you know what? Your 2 minutes is up, so we'll talk to you later. We've got Marlene.
Hey, Marlene.
How are you guys?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, sorry, no small talk. First of all, I heard on a YouTube live the other day that African Knight is Obama's nephew. If you're still out there, can you confirm?
Is that true?
And
I haven't heard that.
African Knight still here in the chat, Amber?
That was the first I'd heard that. But anyway, I have proof that this whole Middle East thing has been a shit show for decades, in a joke from a BBC comedy from the 1970s, from 1972, called Yes, Prime Minister. And in the first episode, they are planning a state funeral for the previous prime minister. And the admin is on the phone with somebody saying, no, we can't do alphabetical seating in the Abbey. That puts Iran and Iraq next to each other, and Israel and Jordan all in the same pew.
It is interesting to go back and look at as a Republican, these types of conspiracy, like the discrediting of Israel or the calling out of Israel. When I was a Republican, I legitimately just ignored it because I'm like, oh, these people are crazy. The same shit that they say to me every day that like I'm a sympathizer with terrorists. That's exactly how I felt as a Republican. So it is interesting now when you mention you go back to the 80s and 90s and you see it's the same thing they're saying today. And it's the same Republicans and moderate Democrats just ignoring it like it's not happening.
Yeah.
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 I appreciate
That's
that.
my time.
Marlene, always a pleasure.
All right, bye, Marlene.
See ya.
Montana.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Long time listener. I know I've bugged you guys a couple of times in your DMs. I hope you don't think I'm too terribly crazy.
No, we're all crazy.
But right, that's kind of what I thought you might say.
Yeah.
African, if you're still here, happy birthday. You are officially like 9 months older than me.
Take that.
I'm 43. I just wanted to share my 4th of July story with you guys. I thought it might inspire some of your watchers. I couldn't make it to the protest, which I was super upset about because, as you guys know, I'm going through it with this shit and I need to do something, right?
Right.
So I was upset because the timing just wasn't working out and I couldn't make it. But I was driving around and I saw this group, this family, like kids and everything. They're selling fireworks, but they were like way too enthusiastic about it. Like, fuck you, MAGA, right? So I decided to drive around their block like 6 times, blasting the Fuck Donald Trump song as my own like mini protest. And I just wanted people to know that you don't have to do the big things. It's all about doing the little things every chance that you get.
I love that.
So keep up the good fight, y'all.
we all celebrate the 4th differently. I love that. It's beautiful. Thanks, Montana.
Well, thanks for letting me up. It's good to talk to you. Have a good night.
See ya.
Day.
It'll be night. I'm up all night, so that works.
All right, so we've got positive impact.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Happy Friday.
Hey.
Yeah, happy Friday, man. I've had the week from hell, but
oh no.
Yeah, my son had reconstructive jaw surgery on Monday and brought him home on Tuesday. Had to take him back to the ER on Wednesday. He had an infection. And we've been in the hospital since then. So it's been
How's he
a little tough.
How's he doing now?
He's doing a lot better. They got the infection under control and he can swallow, and he's actually been able to drink some nutrition. So doing a little bit better, but oh man, it was.
When you have an infection
so
that's like in your mouth, is that going to spread? Like, it just seems like that's like a cesspool of where things could spread. It seems like that's one of the worst places you could get an infection.
Yeah, the infection was it was called cellulitis. It's actually usually on the outside of the skin, but his ended up in his throat and in his neck, in that whole area below his jaw.
Ooh.
And it was really intense. And he was like super swollen around his windpipe and all that. So
that's scary.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Wow. Well, I'm glad he's doing better.
But yeah, he's doing better. He's cracking jokes this morning. So I'm like, okay, he's back.
He's back. Good.
But it was just good to be on the show and to get a little break. And I just appreciate all the coverage. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's just, I don't know. I can't keep up with the news and it's hard to know what to pay attention to. And I try and ignore all these false flags that they send up because it means that there's something else big they're covering up. So
it's like a puzzle. It's like a new puzzle every day. That's how I've decided to like. That's actually how I've like made it through this week versus last week because it gets heavy, and I've decided just to look at every day like it's a puzzle. Like I have to turn it into a game. Otherwise, it'll just eat you alive, and it gets really devastating to read every day.
I know. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I appreciate the work that you guys do because you can kind of get rid of some of the noise and get down to the key points of what to pay attention to. So keep up the good work. And Jen, it was so nice to see you on TikTok and see you like in, on camera and all made up. And Yeah.
That I'm a real person.
The real
Not
person, yeah, instead of the
me
image I had in
virtual
my head.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And does that
All
make you
right.
upset, Jay, that people were nice to me? Does that upset you?
No, it upsets me that you don't react awkwardly. I don't like that you're doing a good job accepting compliments. This is all not going how I wanted it to go. This sucks,
No,
actually. Yeah.
you would thought he would learn this by now, because he tries. He really, really tries to, like, in text messages, to embarrass me, to say something that's gonna upset me, and I always flip it back on him. It never works for him.
Unless I say I love you or I care about you, in which case then
And I
you
just
get
don't answer.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
I just don't answer.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you next time.
We'll see
All
ya.
right. Thanks.
Have a good
Talk
weekend.
to you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Cranberry.
Hey.
Hey, how are y'all? No, I forgot you don't like that. I remember I had a.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Well, I get a kick out of hearing other people do it, but then I feel bad if I do it. So I'd rather just be part of the peanut gallery laughing at you instead of being part of the problem.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to talk about, because I know that, like, there are kind of like the big ticket news stories that are your bread. That's kind of like what you cover. That's the main. That's all the main stuff, and there's a lot of it, unfortunately. But it's crazy to hear about all, like, the different areas that are affected by it that extend beyond those big ticket news items. And I'm thinking about it because I work in a college for osteopathy, and I was talking to a friend of mine who actually goes there. So she is a student doctor, and she was talking about how they're talking about, or maybe they already passed. It doesn't matter, but there's a cap for Grad Plus being like a federal loan program. And it's just yet another way they're kind of like making it.
You're talking about
not
the
tenable for
cap for, it's like $50,000 is the cap,
yes.
right?
Yeah. And so yes, and it's something that I personally didn't know about. We might have talked about it here, but you might have talked about it here, but it's not something that I was aware of, and it was infuriating to see another area that I'm personally not super familiar with all of the intricacies of the medical space, but that's just another place that they're infiltrating with their grubby cuck fingers, and it's very upsetting. But
yeah, it's
on that note, I will. Sorry,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say a joke. You go.
No, I was just saying, like, I did read that. I don't. I haven't looked into it greatly. I know that the criticism of it is that it basically is saying, if you don't have enough money to go to college, you won't be able to get enough money for these particular programs through a loan. So this is going to make it so that just people who have wealth are going to be able to go. So I know that's the criticism. But,
yeah. And that's one thing she was saying. She was like, I'm one of the last people, or in the last group, that's going to be like able to have a fair shot at getting into these programs. Everyone else is just going to be those people who kind of had everything else handed to them anyway. So, and that's how they get in.
Yeah.
But on that note, a guy calls his mom, and he says, Mom, the kids at school are making fun of me because I'm a virgin. And then his mom says, well, the only thing I can think of is just to start giving them bad grades. Maybe that'll stop. All right, bye, guys.
Bye. Weston.
What's up, Weston?
You're muted, Weston. Still muted. Weston.
You know what? I think I muted Weston earlier. We were getting feedback. It's my bad. There you go, Weston. You should be good now. You can unhit the... Weston, you got to hit that microphone button. Going once. Going twice. That was probably my fault. When he first came in, there was an echo, and so I I muted him.
I mean, I usually like I can unmute them if they're server muted, but
All
give
right.
them a couple seconds.
All right. Well,
But
is that everybody?
I think so. Looks like it.
This is the first time. This was sucked. This sucked so bad.
I mean,
wanted
I'll give
this
you
to go
an
better.
I'll give you an A for effort.
I wanted this to go worse for you.
I know.
I love you. Stop asking.
Just to
Said
suck.
I love you. Stop asking. Said Jay sucks, but we love Jen. You have to imagine the kid voice. We're visiting with my in-laws. Oh, that's devastating.
Oh, when Weston's back. There you go. Got him, Weston. Okay, you're unmuted, but we don't hear you. You might have to turn on like a speaker or something.
No go.
Weston. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right. Well, let's just remind everybody then. Tonight, 6:15 Pacific, 9:15 Eastern. We will be debating Andrew Wilson over on the Raging Tomato YouTube. Make sure that you are a paid subscriber either through YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch if you want to watch it with us. I do know how the microphones work, so this time my opening statement will not be muted to you. And I also have I've let Sarah, the host, know that I'll be at times reading out your super chats. So I will read out your chats this time, either through any of the normal ways or through super chats. I'll do my best, and I'll make sure I get to those at the end. And then it'll be, I think it's like 2 hours, I think is the debate. And then there will be open panel after that. We'll cut off the recording. What's that?
So till like 2 a.m. or
Yeah, but we'll cut off the recording at the end of my debate with Andrew, and we won't record the open panel stuff. So that way Jen can go to bed, and I don't have to feel bad about staying up late. And so in order to watch the after stuff, you will have to go to the Raging Tomato to watch that. Anything?
maybe figure out. We can sort some stuff out, but we'll figure it out.
Sure. So we see you guys there tonight. Jen, before that, are you going live at all?
I haven't. I wasn't planning. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
But
Any last?
I might have to check with Daddy. I don't know.
Come on, don't do that. It makes me so uncomfortable. I hate that so much. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's good.
All right, everybody. We'll see you a little bit later tonight, and if we don't see you tonight, we'll see you. Oh, Jen, are we gonna? It's gonna be private tonight, but then are we gonna make the video go live on Monday or Sunday?
I mean, we can if you want to. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do that. So if you miss it tonight and you can't join us, we won't force you to go over there to Raging Tomato. So tomorrow morning, the full debate will be available to everybody on YouTube. All right. Anything else? Did I get it? Did we get it all?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you either tonight or Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time, right here wherever you are watching it. Once again, the YouTube, if you're not a paid subscriber, is the Raging Tomato. You can find it there. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all those places, and you have notifications on, and then you won't miss when we go live. We have merch in our bio, as well as the option for cameos. Appreciate all you guys for the support today. Amy Lynn with one last 8647. And then let me check TikTok. And again, for those who might have missed this announcement earlier, if you are gifting in TikTok and then you leave, it doesn't give me like the top viewers. Whatever coins you gave go away. I saw you in there, Johnny. I saw it. I just, for some reason, TikTok doesn't give me a breakdown that way. So, as we finish off, Joyful Peer with the W, Shrugs in second, Dak in third, God coming in fourth place, and Cat E rounding out the top five. I appreciate you guys. That's 4 days in a row, I think, that TikTok has been live, which is a new record for us. We'll catch you guys tonight or Monday morning. Take care of yourselves. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.